wilderness. I'm afraid. Hey, sister, you up? Maria.
Yes, my brother. I'm here, live and in living color. Good to see you. What's going on, my brother? And to everybody in the chat. Yes, to everybody in the chat, a blessed good evening. I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. And listen, we are excited for this evening's town hall because it's going to be another one of where we dissect this Prime Minister's speech, especially the Prime Minister's speech. Look at what is happening in the country and get our Jamaican people motivated to build a better Jamaica for ourselves.
All right. Ratti.
Up. Maria, why ask us this? Everything.
I am here. You sure you're all right? You worked so hard yesterday, and I'm telling you, listen, man, why? We have to go find something to help you out because you worked so hard yesterday. Really good show. Really good show, man. No joke. So
the UIC, I don't think the UIC going to come back at all, you know?
And no problem about that. You cannot be serious about wanting to be in representational politics with so many, holes in what it is that you're about to do. It doesn't work that way. You got to be serious. You understand me? Come with something concrete. You can't be wishy-washy. Not at this time.
I'm going to just pick up which part the man of the wilderness left off,
I know. You're telling me? You're telling me?
Yes.
Listen, as a matter of fact, when he mentioned your name, and I'm like, oh, Lord. Sorry for him, though. Rattigan.
Oh, Ratti. Oh, me think.
Yes. When he said, and Lonesome asked something about what he was when he asked about the wanting to see the slate of candidates. And he said yes, and Lonesome said, okay, but we need to know them so we can promote them.
Of course. We don't promote them, man. And we can't get them. Hear this now. It's serious. We see Andrew make a big fool of himself. He man a prime minister material, Man damage goods. Let me tell you straight up. What the man do? The man come with a bag of lies, mix up. Me don't know where him say. Even the money where him said stabilize. Me ask you something before me going at something. Let me just show you. Let me show the people them say it have no sense, right? Now I'll show you something. If you have a graph like this, people, you see the graph? It look up and down, don't it? Everything when something stabilize, like it go, like when they're Barbados, a 2 for 1. 2 for 1, right? So it stabilized 2 for 1 US. $2 Barbadian for 1 US. Now this are like 55.20, 56.10, 56.70, 55.80, 57. That stabilized, Ratti? That you don't call it a stabilized dollar. Me don't know what them learn from. Them need a STEM school hour. Them no country maths. That fluctuate, right? That's when something that fluctuate. That not stabilize. So when even that I tell the people, I'll be stabilized on this. Now that people, where we start from? I want to get to no pen, I want no paper. We're start from this. But I listen back, sermon this speech because they matter about destruction. And the man gone back in a 72 again. He not go to Buster. Where Trim Rasta, mash up the thing, People are living in a Wakanda house. The man I live from Michael man, I live from the NHT from Sir Mandley. I cut ribbon, I build Falcob, and I say my out house out of the same legacy, And now when I claim some things and I say, destruction and PMP, where get that from? Me play the speech and we're gonna dissect this and we're gonna listen to him because we have to take note, And we take note too. So we're gonna dissect everything today. We not around with him. I could play the speech a couple minutes long. I could play man the speech. I'm Ratti. Me don't like you take some note because when you take the note and we are talking about a man, you want what him say.
All right.
From that thing, from that thing. Hear this. Hear this, people.
We feel the great need is in education. That we're going to call for the young people to give us a period of time when they get back into the primary system to teach before they move on out into their careers. Once a child reaches 16 or 17, If they, say, fail their O-level exam, we will then ask them to give 2 years, to volunteer for 2 years, to come in and teach in the primary schools while we look after them, which will also give them a chance to try again for their exam, in which case they might then be able to take advantage of it to move on further again. If the child passes the O-level and wants to move on to A-level or some kind of technical training, child will go, but we will ask it to carry the obligation of service. And if it goes right to the end of the university system, so be it. But even at that time, we're going to say, come and teach certain subjects in the technical schools, come and teach subjects even for 2 years in the primary schools. Create a revolution in the knowledge of the people by putting our skills that we've got through our secondary system cycled back into the training of more skills so as to bring the light of knowledge and freedom to the people that are being born and growing up in the system. I think it's the most exciting challenge and opportunity for Jamaica since independence. It's something to stir the fire of nationalism and patriotism in your heart, Mr. Speaker. The National Service, they'll be asked to give 2 years, mainly in teaching, but also, if people prefer, perhaps with the literacy program, they can help with the youth development program, with the youth camps that are coming on stream later this year, the new type of youth development. There are all sorts of ways in which they can help put back into their country, so that instead of drowning through the lack of resources to create training, we use our own resources that say, let me give back something to the country that gave me both birth and the life opportunity of higher education. Because of all this planning, sir, I'm very pleased to be able to announce something more about education. At the present time, about 2,500 children in each age group move through into the secondary system, and then some into the comprehensive, the technicals, etc. Because of plans already laid, already 9,000 of those children will be able, by next year, September, to move into expanded technical schools and expanded secondary schools. That still leaves another 10,000 of junior secondaries with nowhere to go right now. Because of the call for the volunteers and the getting of the secondary schools to give back the training in the system, we are going to be able to revolutionize the quality of the primary education, because as a well-educated youngster that is going in, we're going to be able to release the best teachers to move up the system and strengthen the system inside the junior secondary. And by the introduction of the SHIP system next year, among the 19,000 junior secondaries, 9 of whom will go on into secondary, but 10 of whom will remain, we will be able to give 2 years further training and lift the age of the junior secondary schools from 15 to the age of 17.
I want to take note from 15 to the age of 17. I'm all the school, you know, because them that come out done, him change up all of that, revolutionize it. Just go and listen.
What we're going to do with the 10,000 is to create training in the junior secondaries that is particularly orientated to the needs of the economy. Therefore, that 2 years of extra training in the junior secondary for the other 10,000 will have a heavy vocational bias, strong on work attitudes, concepts of work discipline, and the creation of skills that will be particularly identified by industry as the things of which they are short. We want to see this country can take one thing and lift it out of the quagmire of politics and let it be like a beacon summoning the nation to the solution of its own problems through self-reliance. I come back now, Mr. Speaker, to where I began, which was the problem of an age group marching forward. You have, say, 50,000 children of 15, all with their anxious parents behind them. Of the 50,000 children roughly of that age next year, Instead of 9,000 with a hope and 41 to face a blank wall, at one stroke we will have lifted it to 28,000 children who will be receiving further training of one sort or another. More than 3 times in one stroke. And the key is national service. The putting back to your nation of what you gain from the privilege of education. When we talk of taxes, I say to the people, I know it is hard. And it reminds me, I hear all the jokes and fine, the better the bitter, and that's all what makes life worth living. But let me remind everybody so that, it's a very funny thing about life, Mr. Speaker. Many a man has died of an illness because there was not a doctor to prescribe 1 dose of medicine. And many a man lives in the world today, Mr. Speaker, because there was a doctor that had the courage to say, draw 1 draft of the medicine, it will taste bad, it will be bitter, but it is the thing that will release you to the better that must come. And therefore, I say, I know the taxes are hard, but I say to a person, when you're thinking of your bet, and I hope you win it, wherever you are, whoever you are, think that that is helping to start the revolution again in education, to lift it yet again from where the torchbearers of the past have brought it up to now. If you're drawing on a cigarette, think that it is helping, that either it was going to stay down, or the condensed milk go up, or we couldn't start this great new initiative in education. We couldn't give the chance. We couldn't let the mothers see the whole light of hope dawn for the children of the next generation. Something had to pay. And rather than creep along like before, we said, let us be bold now. Let us be brave now. Let us take time and destiny by the forelock now, so that we can set tomorrow's generation free. When a person buying a car, sure, it had 76% tax before, so now it has 25% more. It's not because they don't want people to have cars, but something has to pay. And maybe somebody buying a $4,000 car, which already has 75% tax on it, maybe, or something around there, and there's another 25%, not as much as was there before. Let them think that maybe that money will be supplying perhaps 2 jobs for 2 people that have never had a job in their lives. And ask yourself, do you love your country enough for that to be worthwhile? And I say, sir, we talk of change. What is change? Change, sir, is the willingness to look at your system and have the courage to know what is wrong. More is not change. Change is to reorder the values of your life. Change is to have a vision of a new hope for a society. Change is to have the courage to invest something now in sacrifice so that tomorrow's people may be free. Change is a matter of a vision of justice. And you talk of change. Was there change? Let us speak of change. Labor Day was change as people began to feel self-reliance. The People's Food Complex that is coming is change because it will bring relief. That is change. Operation Grow is change. The leasehold system is there for change. The integrity legislation is change. The literacy program is change. The recognition of women's rights is change. The 40-hour work week for government workers is change. The Workers' Bank that is coming is change. The creation of equal status for all children in Jamaica is change. The law to prevent non-Jamaicans owning our land is change.
I want the big Ratti. Law to prevent non-Jamaican from owning the land. But beat them on the gun, Continue.
The 18-year-old vote is change. free education for the people is change. National service where we put back is change. These are the means by which, sir, we shall achieve power for the people and freedom in our time. These are the means.
All right, so I could stop that. And plus him coming with no more things. But this is the first, Ratti. This was his first budget. 72 him win. And then this is 73 budget, right? This is the 73 budget. And then him come in with so much thing, Ratti, that for sure he said the kids them 15, they moved from 15 to 17 in a year. That means when Shira did I run it, they are 15. Them kids they never get a chance. So what am I talking about, Ratti? Yeah? So we're gonna look on the whole of these things and the changes. Remember, him put in the Bastard and Servant Act. That too. Equal status, like where woman work and man work for the equal amount of job you do, you get the pay. That time America don't even, a matter of fact, I don't think America have that same way. The whole of that straighten out yet. Him straighten it out. Now here comes Holness now with a bag of more false promises, be a foolishness and going back to the 70s, Ratti. You take on this, Ratti, and we only say today. Can live on the house in just you know. Him live on it. Yeah? You take on this, Ratti. Yes.
Yeah, just to get like an overview before we getting at the meat of the matter. I was disappointed. Disappointed considering that I examined his 2022 speech, and when he talked about health, roads, and he gave specifics, and so he gave you something that you could say, okay, it's not just philosophical, it's something that's tangible. When he says we're going to fix roads, we're going to fix hospitals, we're going to fix crime, we're going to fix this, we're going to fix that. And he said, okay, all right, this sounds promising. Now let's see if he'll deliver on it. And I believe, I have the notes here, but we'll get into them later. I believe that, and I'm open to being fully corrected, but I personally believe that what we have done as a team, and I'm talking about the four of us here plus others on social media, what we've done is we have held them accountable. And because of that, I sincerely believe that, especially over the last few weeks when we have gone back and we have looked at the speeches and we've looked at the manifestos
and the promises.
I think they had, and the broken. I think they had no choice but to, and I could visualize them changing their speeches for today. No, you say a Ratti friend, but former minister, you know whom you talk.
Yes,
right. He said, and it was very, very interesting. He said, dancing, having a big crowd, singing can't make you win the next election, the local government. He said that. And what that tells me is that they're not confident. They're not confident because even with the big crowd and the noise and the singing and the dancing, he's warning them. No, he's forewarning them, saying that this alone cannot win the election. Because, we've heard stories about people being paid to show up for this thing. But they can sense the mood too. And when you go through the speech, you'll see that the promises that they made last year, all the way going back to 2016, and they're full of vigor and vim and vitality and energy, and that was missing today. It was missing. The speech was flat. And when you look at what he said last year, just a year ago, to what he said now, he basically made no promises. He basically he just talked a little bit, and I noticed he didn't talk about health. He didn't go into health at all. He talked about housing, security, roads,
housing, security, roads,
education. He spoke about education. Yeah, Ratti is frozen.
Yeah. Soon free up.
Yeah.
Soon free up.
Yeah.
Herb, welcome, sir.
Greetings, Sir Herb. How are you doing? And happy birthday to your mom.
Turn on your mic, Herb.
Oh, yeah. Thanks much to you and to Man in the Wilderness. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Sir Will, he's frozen. I don't know. They still decide. They haven't forgiven him yet. They're still jamming him up over the good lady. But listen, thanks for the birthday greeting. My mom had her 94th, and she's looking forward to 95th. So we have a countdown going. And I pray to God that
man. Yes, man.
Yes. And this is a 1-year anniversary after my wife had her illness too. So her numbers look good. So, I thank God for small mercies. So I appreciate it from all the prayers that came in and everybody who spoke about it. Now, I clearly recall this gentleman, the current Prime Minister of Jamaica, putting out some smack about he blamed the Michael Manley for the current economic ills that Jamaica was experiencing and this is back in, what was it? It's 2015.
Upward, 20, yes. 20 something. Me for rush him a couple of years ago. That's a few years
ago. Yeah, a few years back.
Then him take back him word.
Yeah,
but him come back today again.
But the irony was he was speaking at the launch of a JLP Education Fund Scholarship Program.
Yes.
Right? And he claimed Jamaica was still paying for the ideological missteps of the Manley-led PNP administration from 72 to 78.
But that's a lie.
It's a lie.
Remember, that's why me and say 1983, when Siago, them pressure him for draw for the election, the snap election, and after that they moved the dollar from $1.70. Him have to push it, devalue it to $3 something. Then they put on the hardship, him have to lock down the, him have to move everything. Him close on the JOS, him lock down that. Him wind up the bus system, then him start lock down hospital, him lock down a lot of things. He mash up the place.
Well,
course,
it's
there.
Because Siago was playing ball and footsie with the Reagan administration, right?
Yes.
And them people, them use you like I won't use the other word I want to use, but they use you like a tissue for nose knot, and then them blow them nose on you, then throw you away, right? And that's the problem. The real problem was the sellout from that particular leader with against Manley, and those were the setbacks because it seriously damaged the country. The undermining was done economically and socially, and to this day we have never recovered. So he should be addressing what Siaga did and why Siaga is not any kind of national hero. And I hope they don't ever put his face sculpture anything in a George VI Park, because to me, that man should have been tried for treason.
Of course,
he completely
first, second, and third.
Yes, completely wrecked the place. So even though you had some PNP who retaliated and then made the situation hostile for a while, but they claim 800 and something people died during that period. And folks are telling me it was more like 2,000 or more that died. Because if you remember, the war was all out. So it's blood for blood, you know.
Yes, but you see, no, you see, some people play defense and some they play offense. So some people use in East Kingston. But you don't know that well. But you're about in the 80s, but you never leave yet.
No, me left already.
You left already. Okay. So you have to use the old debris and the old car and the thing, then block your place, and people are stood up. So them never really come. Them go, yes, a man find a letter say 22 man and them want 20 man. So you're there look. So you know, so them keep out of the way most of the time. But you have to there look. That means you attack nobody, you know. Because them send a threat, you know you have to defend yourself. So you depend on the defense. You understand? So it really go. Yes, man. So it used to go. Back then.
So the thing was with the
remember Bad Marley get shot too, you know. And you ask who shoot him. And Manley have nobody shoot Bad Marley. Why? Bad Marley never offend Manley. Bad Marley, Manley embrace Rastas. Embrace poor people and black people in general. Because you never have a chance in your country. For them to know all these things, them to know them history. Yeah, I will talk straight. I mean, no apology to that, don't it? Of course. Ratti, you want to finish where you say now and then we just bring back her?
Yeah. Straighten up my thing. One of my supporters said too much white I show up on the left side, so
you're good man.
So yeah, the speech was very, very flat, and I think it's because they know we're watching them, and they know them can't come out and make any promises. But here's what happened: the horse gone through the gate already.
Yes,
because we have the record for 2016, we have the record for 2020, we have the record for today, and we have the record in between 2016 and 2020. We have those 3 milestone dates, right? And then we have the thing in between. So they can't run away from the record. And, you know, I listened to the Minister of National Security. And when I tell you, say, I mean, here's how he started out. He started talking about saying that they have to restore credibility. And I'm saying, well, if you don't restore something unless it was lost, are you gone and broken? Yeah. Yes. And saying restore credibility. That's a first thing. Mm-hmm. Then he went on to talk about expungement, saying that they passed a law so that the comprehensive law enforcement, it passed some what's it called? Can't find the name now, but it is Criminal Record Rehabilitation Act in 1988. And he said that was passed so that if you're in prison and you come out, then you could file for expungement and get your record clean up, and so you could get a job and you could become a productive member of society. And he said that 2014 the PNP changed the law and said no expungement, which I don't even know if that's true. Then he went on to say that his ministry, they've given the police the tools. Here's what he said they gave them to fight crime. He said, we're giving police tools, legislation. We've built more stations than any other administration.
Crap.
We've given them cars. And that they have 5,000 recruits and they've added 3,000 to the police. Right? And he said that the 88 Criminal Record Rehabilitation Act is the greatest thing to prevent recidivism. The fact that you can expunge your record, that's the greatest thing to prevent you from coming back to prison. Utter nonsense.
Utter nonsense. Same one, Ratti. Me not even cut you. I him same one say when the police them but the youth them for the shoot them. Me have some footage where I want to show him because I'm watching a Ratti. I mean, when you go so fast, I want to show them some footage from match where you say now because them draw we out. Draw we out. So we're going to answer with some footage when you finish.
Yes. No, this is the Minister of National Security.
Yes.
Last year, he talked about what? The Firearms Act.
Yes.
Because last year,
and he lock them up for longer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hey.
And he said, and the Prime Minister said that because they at that time when they were on the podium, they gave 2 different numbers about the number. They had the amnesty going on, And
Yes.
he and the Minister of National Security, he meaning the Prime Minister, on the same stage, on the same day, they gave 2 different numbers of guns reported turned in and ammunition, right? 2 different numbers. I don't know how they managed to be so coordinated or uncoordinated. But he mentioned that day he was told that there were 4 murders in Jamaica, 1 by the gun and 3 by stabbings.
Yes.
And he said, so it shows that the measures are taking effect.
But
you know, you're nothing about that today.
No.
You know, you're nothing about the firearms. In fact, what they need to understand, people, look, I don't care about politics, but the people who went there today, the people who are die-hearted JLP members, just listen to the facts and search yourself, search your soul, and come to terms with what's going on. Because here's the thing, he talked about the Firearms Act, and that if them catch you with a gun is life with 15 years minimum. And guess what happened recently? Somebody get life, and the DPP is now arguing for the sentence to be reduced.
Yes, but no good that. Let me show you. I'm cruel. Him just tell about expunge. Your card, right? I think Mark Golden with the ganja thing, right? None of money that have them record couldn't travel or nothing. No, Mark Golden come up with the ganja thing, then expunge these people, right? And Mark Golden, when he was the minister, right? Him do it. And come with the ganja, the thing there where them are use the cannabis now. Him do it. And save a lot of people where them can get them thing and travel now. What am I talking about? Now, them come with draconian laws. We can't help nobody, you know. 45 years, our life. If you're charged with this, 15 years if them catch you with a gun, them a take it out of the court, and you know, there's no discretion. Because listen, when you come from ghettos, Ratti, we come from ghetto, we know. Me and East Kingston and you West Kingston, brother, right? And let me tell you this: if you are novice and you live in a place, and you have enough school youth, enough school girl, and them thing they get caught up. Well, I done I tell you for carry a bag, it have a gun in it. So if the police stop you, not your gun, and you have to carry it, by the way. You understand? You're novice, you know what? And you can't call them name now because your people them dead off. So if them catch you with it, you have 15-year-old, youth and them you. Them no want hear nothing. 15 years still. That make sense, right?
No.
It help. These are the draconian laws them come with. And he might talk about them transform the JCF. You know, I show you some transforming of people. This is 11-year-old. I show you some transform. I make her to do this, and I show you some things, and then we have a question come and the Prime Minister.
Let me just show you the difference. Last year, them come out and them talk about a whole heap of things, and this year, them just quiet as a church mouse regarding the thing. Them couldn't. This is what I'm talking about, you know. This is where them get up there and talk about. Him talk about expungement of the record, and him talk about that they've given police tools to fight crime, right? Compare and contrast that now with the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister not touch security. Now, you know him called it. Him say, I want to talk about peace. Peace, him say, I want to talk about. And him say the homicide rate is equal to countries that are at war. And him say,
that alone trap him. I can show the people them that Ratti. Me like your talk. See the people. Just what the Prime Minister said.
Yeah, I see right. So Jamaica is not a country at war, but our homicide rate equates to countries that are at war. Right. That's what I'm saying. Right?
That name failure. Should have got that. This is a failure. 100% failure.
So I can say somebody take good notes, right? We never say that. Right, yeah. Right. And then him say we're at conflict with ourselves, and that they put measure in place to deal with violence in our country. And he said there's a study that's gonna come out the end of this year to deal with violence, and he's gonna create a new ministry to deal with violence.
Right?
No, hold on a second. One second. That is all him talk about with crime, you know. That is it.
So that's what can never say them modernize the force. Modernize. So me go look on the post and the act of the police them right now, people. Let me just show some video. I'm not hold back nothing. I just show you a couple videos, just a couple. Let me see that one, the first one. Modernize force now, we know. Modernize.
Yeah, man.
The force modernize. Remember, man. Like modernize.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Give me my ticket. You can write my ticket, man. Give me my ticket. Give me my ticket. And the amount of ticket I want to write to me, right there.
I don't want to take care of me, okay. So I might tell you, even the government, him say nobody now help him father, because him father alone, him mother gonna left him or something, right? So I move that one, yeah. I just move this because I'm not a nice force, you know, Ratti.
Hold on a second.
Yes.
Him say that them put money in a training, them train the cops them. What kind of training that? Is that how you restrain somebody?
11-year-old.
That's not how I was taught to restrain somebody. That's not how you restrain somebody. That's how you
modernize. Them say a modernized force this. A modernized force. Hold on. You know, see not yet. Hold on. Let me just play something else because a modernized force will look on. Hold on.
Chief, I asked you for the vehicle documents, kindly.
Move from in front of me.
I asked you for the vehicle documents.
Service vehicle, commissioner, police
Chief,
vehicle.
let me see your ID. Let me see your ID.
You think I say you deal with
I saw you did people are talking about
move from in front of me.
Chief,
you don't have any manners. Move from in front of me, you're rude.
You're assaulting the police. I'm asking you.
Hello.
You see what you're doing?
Hello. Listen, Mr. Police. Me must write in fact, let me call Mr. Watson.
Call Mr. Watson.
Call Mr. Watson.
Call Mr. Watson.
I can't tell me about come out the road. Me no matter where you are recording the police.
Call Mr. Watson.
You're rude, man. In fact, me call him.
Yes, call him.
You're rude.
Yes. I tell him that you assault the police.
Yeah. What authority have you? I identify myself to you. You come and stop bike in front of me about come out of me. You're rude.
Someone is dying in the vehicle.
You mean I know that you come. Boss, come out of the road. Excuse me.
Call
Police,
Mr. Watson.
excuse me.
Call Mr. Watson.
Police, excuse me.
Chief, call Mr. Watson.
In fact, I'm going
yes,
to
go ahead. Go ahead and proceed, Chief.
Yeah, sure you say.
Go ahead and proceed.
Me call Mr. Sharp.
You don't declare yourself.
Who don't declare yourself?
I know I don't see your ID for you.
I don't declare myself.
I know I don't see your ID.
I don't declare myself.
You take the vehicle and hit me.
You know what? Me not going to argue.
You take the vehicle and hit me.
Police,
Chief,
sorry.
I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting.
Sorry, do what you want. Do what you want.
So, Ratti, this are the new force, right, Ratti?
Yeah.
This are the brand new force. Me not done yet. Me see them come out with the new clothes and all kind of things. Now, somebody, you hear him say, he might tell the car to move out of the way because somebody ill, you know. We want to rush to the doctor. He might tell him move. He might say him bright. Can identify himself. Yeah. If somebody's sick and he might tell you clear the way that them can pass, you can't say you shouldn't even have an argument with him if you know better. But this is the brand new force, yeah. I remember see this. Look on them clothes and how them want to say a gunman. Look on this. Them hide all the badge. Them hide the tag. Look on this. Police, this, watch this. See him hide the soldier part as a hide, you know, the name, the team went on it. Look, him put something on it. See there? Them cover it. And this a brand new clothes. Them are tell us a gunman this, right? Can we see police and soldier, you know? So, you know, yeah. This is yesterday, though. Our pharmacy, I think, in St. Catherine.
I rob the place?
No, it's a Western Union section of the pharmacy.
Yes. See them, you notice as a cover Ratti? You notice the name from the arm? Them that the brand new clothes, you know. Brand new clothes. When them and put a mask, okay. And if them say, no, man, a gunman, I'm showing us something now. People, you know, we are big people around here. We show the thing them straight. This are the new force. Look on this now, because them say this. Just look on this. This is an artist police now. Watch this. I'm gonna play this. What am I saying? Listen what am I saying? This is where Google can them at train now, yeah? Yeah. Never see this in my life before. I mean, I'm playing with them feet. All right, so Ratti, now show them my next thing, one more thing, and then we'll go back to it because me just run through because I'm well trained now, right? Very trained.
Yeah, well, yes, I can do something,
You want the police to the top yard.
Which one? Are we trying Bucky? And Holness, that's who I go on. And this man, we have to vote you out this time, and Holness. We have to take you out. You have to come out of this, Andrew. Oh, no, Africa. You whole out of Africa. You whole out of Africa.
So me just show them a look apart. Now, these are the force where the police, them good police, living at jobs. And them a train, them a tell you how much them a put, them a police at it. Them a look like police and soldier, them a put back on road or some gunman them. Eh?
No, it's...
And this, he modernize it and I'll be proud of this. You feel, this never happened. In our time, we never see this yet. Never see this yet. You tell me now, Ratti. Make you finish up the thing. Yeah, man, tell me now.
No, you see, and sometimes you get to the point where you cannot defend the indefensible. And this is where the government finds itself. Because when you come out with your conference, and in fact, there are people right now, there some MPs who have written to me, and they've agreed that the speech was flat. There's nothing in it for anybody. Nothing in it for anybody. And when you look at, just take that one portfolio, the crime portfolio, and you just look at what the Prime Minister said, and you look at what the Minister of National Security said. And if you're a true Jamaican, if you believe in your country, if you believe in truth, if you believe in transparency, if you believe in good governance, you have to admit that they're clueless at this point. If you didn't have any ideas before about crime, anti-crime measures, I mean, today should be the pivotal moment that should convince you that they don't know what they're doing, because they have nothing in both speeches, nothing in for the Jamaican people to say, okay, we feel safe and secure that these men and women out there, they're protecting us and they're protecting our property. There's nothing in the speech that could convey any confidence to the Jamaican people. So then the question is, if you have the Minister of National Security and you have the Prime Minister, both of them talked about crime, and there's nothing of substance in the speeches, then how do you feel safe and secure? How do you feel confident in their ability to protect and serve and reassure? You don't. It's that simple. You do not. I was very, very disappointed because I was listening from to say, okay, we have this, a new initiative, and we're going to be doing this and we're going to be doing that. Because like I said, my purpose is not for burn out the government as such. My purpose is to make sure that the government does what it's supposed to do and you hold them accountable. And so when I criticize the government, I criticize the government in the spirit of hope, that they will wise up and do the right thing. I don't criticize them because I want them fail. But when them fail, you have to call it out. When them fail, you have to call it out. And I don't accept excuses because they've been there now for a substantial period of time. It's not 2 years or 1 year or 3 years. It's 7 they've been there. So at some point you have to call it as you see it and say, no. What they're doing here is not quite right. And people need to stop making excuses for them. And people need to stop believing in the excuses that they provided to them. Some people make excuses for them. Some people believe in the excuses they provided. Both sets of people, we need to stop this nonsense and just stop and think about your circumstances. And you'll realize that today was a very sad day for crime fighting in Jamaica because it offered no future as far as fighting crime. When you can come out and say, oh, we've given them tools, legislation, we've built new stations more than anybody else, we've given them cars all over the place, and we have 5,000 recruits, and we added 3,000 to the force, and that's it.
Hold on. So Ratti, if me show them the car with them, say them give them, I'm have to show them to it because them I watch. And me not like when them talk, I want to show them, me not match them because I want to see one of the nice car with them give them, right? Car. Police car. Police.
Yeah, show the Mercedes.
Yeah, police Mercedes. So, I miss the Mercedes. See one of the car them here, people. And that's just what the police I said to. Listen what I say. Them not easy, you know. Them not easy. This is what I say.
We have to go through here in the JCF. Yeah, man. Quality service. Yeah, man. See there? See there? Quality service in the JCF.
All right. I mean, I can just bring up the other one. So, I'm going to show you. This is the JCF. This is the car them where them say them come in with Ratti.
Oh, no, look.
As you can see.
This is the JCF. This is what we have to go through here in the JCF. Yeah, man. Quality service. Yeah, man. See there? See there? Quality service in the JCF.
So, Ratti, the police, when them attack them bag
oh, no, look.
Them bag of crap in them head. This is what them do. Them just come up with some foolishness. Because this is the same prime minister and the same government. This is the same prime minister with the promise when they were in opposition, say, "Man, make you sleep with window and door open, Ratti." Eh? Not him say, man, Ratti.
Yeah, that's a promise that will haunt him forever. Because when you make a promise like that, people believe in it, you know, because people genuinely are afraid. And that's why when the police commissioner and his cronies, when they come out and say, oh, murders went down 2% and this went down and that went down, don't believe the hype. Do not believe the hype, because one of the measures, right? One of the measures about crime is how do you feel about crime? And if you ask people how do you feel, they don't feel safe. They don't feel safe. First of all, we don't trust the statistics. And the second, because, oh, by the way, I've asked them to give me the numbers of police investigations ongoing. This is like, homicides that they're investigating that they don't put on their homicide record. I've asked them for the autopsies to be conducted. These are people waiting for the doctors to declare cause of death, right? Because just because somebody's decapitated, it doesn't mean that's the cause of death. So we're still waiting for the doctors, the pathologists to come and say, okay, cause of death, gunshot wound, heart attack, this, that. And then we have the missing people, right? We're not getting those numbers. And I've asked them for those numbers and they haven't given me them yet. But this week, no, I'm going to go back to them because I may have to file something with the tribunal and seek recourse there, because I don't think they want to give me those numbers, because when they give me those numbers, you're going to realize that the number that they're giving to the public, that's not accurate. In fact, it's very inaccurate based on my source reporting. Very inaccurate. So all in all, the speech today, I was not impressed. In fact, I was depressed when I listened to him.
Depressed everybody.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
And if can have nothing to tell, I remember we are all him. Him knows about dissect him. So I'm going to talk when him come and tell about Jamaica, if the police so advanced. So, Jamaica no in a war, Ratti. But we have the murder rate like we're in a war, or more. Oh, that work, Ratti. Not the same Andrew only said promise with sleep, walk sleep with window door open. No, him say him know for deal with crime. No, him say it, me have it. No, him promise these things.
Well, that's why we appeal to people, eligible voters. Exercise your constitutional right. Exercise your right to vote. Do not let, you can't have 30% of the people provide a mandate. 30% of the people, 30% of the eligible voters, they should never be able to provide them. The 60 to 70%, 60 something to 70% of you who didn't vote, you need to get involved. You need to get involved. Because look, if you don't get involved, then I think that you really don't have a right to complain about the economy, that you're not feeling it in your pockets, right? You don't have a right to complain about health services. You don't have a right to complain about education. You don't have a right to complain about infrastructure. You don't have a right to complain about housing. You don't have a right to complain about quality of life. You don't have a right to complain about safety and security. You have a right to complain about nothing if you don't vote, because that's how you exercise your power. Your power is exercised by casting a vote. And all I'm saying to you is, if you believe that your MP is the greatest thing since sliced bread, vote for that person. If you believe that your MP is not the greatest thing since sliced bread and you haven't seen a difference, then you need to do something else. That's all I'm saying. Because again, the speech, and people are talking about it all over the place. I've gotten so many phone calls about this speech. Unfortunately, I actually watched it real time and I took notes. And I am convinced, as I said before, that they changed their speeches because they couldn't come out to the ray and the promise because they know we are watch and they know we are watch and they know we're going to dissect, we're going to analyze.
Change it to Ratti. I'm not gonna talk to Maria, but you want to change it too. He might tell you some things where I'm gonna do, but in a 2 years time, the next two budget are 2 years in a people. Now when the next fiscal budget starts next year, April till 2025 and then 25 to 26. So they must say the next 2 weeks, like we must have build fixed road with 40 billion. It can do, but he might tell you, no, you forget involved. Let me tell you this. Me not talk to nobody about no road where me live. Because them dropping our patrol that I tear off my wheel or anything happen. Them I get sued.
Well,
so I wrote them fix. Foolishness.
No, I mentioned to you that him talk about the under peace. No, he did talk about it under security. And that's when him talk about transformation of the police force. And him said that them have technology, them have equipment, and so they will find you when you've committed a crime. So what happened to the top? What happened to the top 200? Where my name, your brethren, the man, the one who promised us that him going to find out, him going to make arrest for the coke the coke fine. Yeah, Him said that
that matter is just be a lie.
No, BLI put out like his
BLI say fine him to arrest the man because him say not arrest the man, him to arrest them because them just a sign.
But they put out a top 200 at one point, you know.
Yes,
and you can't find them people there.
No, them last.
Then him say
fine like Sangrian.
Oh, them say they're not gonna give preferential treatment to criminals. They're gonna go through the laws to increase penalty as deterrence. So if them increase penalty as deterrence, then why is it that you have from last year to this year, you still have the murder rate just about where it was last year, and it's supposed to be a deterrence? And remember last year when him say on the podium, he said 4 people died that day, 3 by stabbing, 1 by gunshot, and that the law was working. It was working.
Death in a Ratti. Even if them beat you with a pickaxe or something, death.
And then here do now for kind of pretty it up now and tight up nice. Him say Jamaica has the lowest incarceration rate in the Caribbean.
Not no go so people. Not no go so. Jamaica have one of the highest incarcerated in the world. If you look at China, them bigger, you compare it. I can't crunch numbers and tell you. Jamaica have the highest murder rate in the world too. One of the highest. and we know there war. So him I tell you these things. I remember the police them gonna find you when you commit crime, but you still the murder rate over it go like 1,400 and add right now. Same thing like that.
How much it gone?
Eh?
What it gone?
1,300 and add. It go 1,400 and add.
Rotted within a December yet.
No. So they go to the same thing. And them hide it. You remember one time them that give a figure? Them stop it. You understand? So these are the things I tell you. Them lie and the country run down and slip. It gone. It gone. You don't know where I'm doing now. Let me tell you where I'm coming with them speech. Them speech and it can't hold nobody because I'm going to think I just hide the big boys them and them I want, including them. Criminal politician and them. And Maria, what you say about him speech today and the crap where him talk about?
I'm not at all surprised that his speech was lackluster, because he is a prime minister. His speech, him being lackluster at the conference, he showed up because he had to show up. And his speech is reflective of someone who is preoccupied with something else. Remember now, this is a government who has 6 parliamentarians who are under investigation for illicit enrichment. So while he is more concerned with the flack that he is getting, his government is getting for not revealing the 6, you know? So I'm not surprised at all by the nature of his speech. Another thing, to say that, you know, his speech he said something about education, basically that this was his pet project, but he forgot that he was also Minister of Education. And a recent study done by the Social Economic Survey done by his government said 60% of Jamaicans have no skills, no certification. 65% have no academic training. Therein lies the crime problem. Because if you have not dealt with education from the basic school level all the way up to junior secondary, high school, all the way up to tertiary, you have created a problem, because you have people leaving high school who cannot read and cannot write. So, you know, I would have hoped that he would have been able to do a better speech, but if he has no successes to run on, then what did we expect? What are his successes? It cannot be Zozos and SOEs. So I don't know where he goes from here, but he knows that people are listening, and we are in a different era where social media has been turning up the heat on politicians all over the world, but especially in Jamaica, given the level of corruption that has been taking place in Jamaica.
Yes, Maria. And next thing again now, I heard that them talking about the art, said them come up with art. But art come from Michael Mann the thing, because him have the apprenticeship.
National Youth Service, yes.
Youth Service. So them just rebrand it and call it that. That's the way Michael set out and do. Not you, Herb.
That's what you're talking about. That Holness copied certain things from Michael Mann's era.
Yeah.
And even while copying it, he turned around and tried to blame him for the financial woes, economical woes, and the social ills of the country. Right?
That's stupid, eh?
Why would you copy this man's actions? Why would you copy the education, and some of the other institutions that you want to enhance, and you want to use the fund, the housing fund, trust fund, right? You abuse it, as a matter of fact, right? And then you talk about you want to shut it down. Are you going to shut it down when it's a source of revenue for your operations, right? It's just like here in the U.S., Social Security is being used for government funded programs. That's what the Holness is doing. And then he talks on both sides of his mouth. He does not have a plan for crime, And I don't believe anything the clerk on the Ministry of Finance when he talks about finance programs, because you don't have clear transparency or access to anything online that you can see developing and follow a trend to see where it goes, right? These people are secretive, they lie a lot, and there's no way they're gonna ever come up to the standards that Michael set back in the 1970s. No way.
But Herb, if the man a cut ribbon half of the NHT people, what Michael come up, hey, the man a brilliant man, you know. Great man. This guy, like you out for Michael, man, the number one, you can't walk in nobody class. Nobody, no. Listen, him a the liardest thing on earth. Andrew Holness, the liardest. I mean, no apology to it. None.
That's
you understand? And when him try to spin things, but and him have some spin doctor, but they cannot go around us. We are the Fantastic Four. You can't go around with. We're tougher than steel. Yeah, man. Round here, we're tough, you know. Tougher than steel. You can't go around with. Because every time we put out something, can't hear what them talk. Them I try to fact checking now, you know. And I try running a history, wish, you know, our style up. So them I try running a history and them attack me, yes, a bushshot running a history and them don't even know what I say. Man, your brain need some cell, man. Them dead in your brain or something, man. But, brother, go check back on the history, man. See, by the way, Nigel Clark run out with something where Sir Mark Rowling talk about and tell him to do the other day. And he might put it out there like a him. We don't get Mark credit. So we notice if Mark never thought them want to do something like this. Look on these people. Because they must say, I'm going to move this from $50, the duty, the tax, the free thing there, to 100. Look on this. Look on this. We are reminding him. Look on this.
This is online shopping. Consumers can buy personal items from overseas and have them shipped to Jamaica. These are items that are not produced here. This has spawned a new industry of firms that bring these goods into Jamaica for online shoppers. But unless the items are less than $50 US in value, that's 7,500 Jamaican dollars, import taxes are charged on the full value of the purchase. The import taxes on goods valued at over $50 US are burdensome on consumers who shop in this way to achieve greater value. I'm calling on the government to increase the tax-free value on these imports of personal items from $50 US to $150 US. It will make a real difference. It will make a real difference to consumers who need to reduce the cost of living to them by using these new opportunities that modern technology and modern logistics have made possible.
All right, so him do this, right? Sir Mark Golden said this. Him come do it now, but him do it like him come up with an idea and do it. I remember you do it in a parliament. You must have the video and everything with it. What happened to Nigel Clark? So if somebody not talk, him not run with something, that means I'm a finance minister. Him not have no style. Him not have no ideas. Eh? You see that, Maria?
Yeah, and that's the thing that the Jamaica Labour Party government is running on a platform that was created by them, for them by the Portia and Peter Phillips administration, because the economy that he's running on, which allows them to be able to borrow more money, was created by Peter Phillips. Because remember now, Bruce Golding destroyed the economy. He did. And so Portia and Peter Phillips, yes, and he was a part of that administration, yes. And Portia and former Prime Minister Portia Simpson and former Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips had to go to Washington and ask for the help of people like Congresswoman Maxine Waters, as well as Yvette Clarke, to help them to get back into the good graces of the IMF. But the JLP had destroyed it. So the JLP destroyed and the PNP come in and clean up. And here we have now a situation where they are riding on an economy that was created for them by somebody else. And all the things that Andrew Holness is talking about, housing, and goes back to the very administration that he was saying was a problem. Michael Manley. So I would like to see what is Andrew Holness's vision for Jamaica. He's there now 8 years, and he keeps blaming the PNP for stuff. What has he done in the 8 years that he can run on?
Maria, this man a cap, you know, my damaged goods. So we have say them move the duty free to $100. Well, Mark Golden didn't ask him to put it at 150. It's even better, but him come at 100, and I go like a female idea. But him forgot say Mark tell the government to do it. And him copy it, and when you look him in that paper with it. Cause Nigel Clark now have no style. Him just borrow people style. Getting paid for nothing at all. Nigel Clark getting paid for nothing at all. Nigel Clark now have no style. You understand? So Mark Golden tell him copy it, and him don't even say on the pulpit since evening. You know, I get it from Mark Golden and I thank him. Good idea. Because we're gonna play about this stuff embarrassing. Perry. Where you say, Ratti?
Well, look, I just send a message to an MP friend of mine, and I tell him, say, why the speech today did nothing to improve the lot of his party, of the government, because it was very, very short on substance. I mean, he didn't even make any promises, basically. It was weak. It was just, as I would say, it was just pedestrian. It was not running speech where, you know, you make effort and you do things. It was just perfunctory. Actually, it was worse than that. I'll be honest with you. It's one of the worst speeches I've ever heard a politician deliver to a crowd of his supporters. A huge crowd. It's one of the worst speeches I've ever heard. And I say that because that's what I heard. That's what I witnessed. And if I'm wrong, people can just tell me, you know. But I didn't see it. It didn't have anything. It didn't have anything. It didn't have anything for it for people who don't like him, and it didn't have anything in it for people who like him. If you ask them, the people who attended to that, the team said, "Tell me what you got out of this speech." Them can't tell you. Cannot tell you.
Them outside play bingo. Them couldn't bother. I'm bingo.
Oh, Maria, you see, it's the bingo. It's the bingo, Maria. You see them?
Them and them people them play bingo. Them not
Maria.
Them just collect. And
no, I didn't get to watch the speech. I didn't get to watch the speech, you know. I did not see. No,
this is not the speech. This is the people them outside that play bingo.
Outside the people them outside that play bingo. Cause them boring.
No, I didn't see it. No, I didn't see it. No, yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh, big the people them not. Remember them are collect, you know. Them touch it up to 15. Some get 20. Some get 8 around the country. Going in a Kingston and St. Andrew, you know. So them boring. So them just play some bingo. Yeah, them just play some bingo. But it bad, you know, when them come out and he make a next speech again, you know, where it touching in a herb, because you know, say much that crap, he want to put people in a little, all right. It put people in a little desperation. Look on this now, herb, and Maria and Ratti. If the Prime Minister come and talk about 20 billion, remember, you know, he have barely regional hospital of 14.1 billion. Them reach where them chop, you know. Because that's a foolishness. The money that them a chop. Yeah? But the road them in our constituency, we now get fixed. When I'm saying a fix over 40 and 50 years, he might tell you now, an MP, in a dialogue with the people them, to see who should have fix that, me you have up the MP. Look how I'm stupid. If you are saying, number one, where the people them are talk for, the government will just come fix the road. They know says that road is fix. So when I sit down and say my road for fix, and Maria say, me want my road fix early for the next road. Me want my road fix, and I say, but for me road have a fix. When you look, 2-hour road not fix, or 3-hour road not fix, then we not go war with the MP. They have him up and can't get a vote. Because him come to and like him pick out one of road go fix. When you look, him have 100 road in the place to fix, and him go fix 2. You know see what the cause, Maria? You are telling me that the Prime Minister have sense? Him a damage goods.
No, but you see what he did though. Instead of fixing the road, he gave 1 donkey. And again, it's not about the lady who got the donkey. She needed the donkey for her purposes. She's a farmer. But we're looking at the bigger picture that had he fixed the road, more people would have benefited. More farmers would benefit because they can take their produce to the market. The same thing for the young man with the cow. Had he given the farmers more opportunities, then you would have more people being able to be a part of the economic growth of Jamaica. And you also have to talk about the young people who have been pressured, abused by the police forces. When you have going back to that picture, that 11-year-old boy, who does that? What kind of training? What kind of a human being one has to be to do that to a child? That child will be traumatized for the rest of his life. Are they going to provide the mental help that he needs to help him heal from that experience? No, they are not. So the Prime Minister and the government have been gazing for a long time. And because they have not been putting in new ideas to move the country forward, they're coming off old plans. And coming off old plans, there's nothing wrong with continuity of government, but there's something seriously wrong when you lack vision to carry out a plan. Even building out that plan that you have, there's something fundamentally wrong with his inability to create opportunities for the Jamaican people that will help to lift them out of the quagmire of poverty that he has put many of them in right now, because a few people are benefiting while the masses are being pushed further and further down into poverty.
All right, here next stupid thing where him does say, you know, when me hear it, me smile, me I say, you know, so I'm gonna crush him. Turn all the itinerary because we just get warm in people. We just pick out the things them. Here where Andrew said now. Andrew said the dump. Where enough of them in I'm cabinet belongs to right now, the dump, Riverton City dump. Good, very nice dump. Better than in a KPH, because you know me chat straight. The dump right now. Right? Him say I'm gonna move the dump, Ratti. Me gonna ask him where I'm gonna carry the dump. Look how it's stupid now. He might ask people about keep your place clean. He might talk about environmental and all kind of foolishness. Keep your place. But yes, still when I have the garbage truck to pick up the garbage, what it at 6 feet high. Leptospirosis kill people. Now you move the dump from outer Riverton City, where people have to take up the garbage. Harbourview Albert, and they take care of the Riverton City. Where you gonna carry it? In a Manchester? In a Westmoreland? If you carry the dump in a Westmoreland. For you, Ratti, you have a truck and you will make one trip and drive go to Westmoreland and for come back. You know, see night catch already Ratti the next day. You know, see at Kingston and St. Andrew have the most people now go clean Ratti. Him have sense. Where you gonna carry the dump? No, I'm with that. Him gonna turn the MSWMA now, them gonna turn in a regulator. If them can't clean Jamaica, when you turn them in a regulator, what them can do? When you get in a private and if them they can't do it, when you turn them in a regulator, it was the man had no style, no sense, nothing at all about him. That no make sense that cause Jamaica more. Yes,
here's what happened. We have to see the plan for what it is. And usually what they do is them discuss it amongst themselves and say, listen, if we close the dump and privatize the whole thing, then we can't eat our food. So what we do then is we make them become regulators and we become operators. So we then, and you hear him say it now, them are going to get more jobs. And what am I do with the people who want to pick up the garbage right now?
All right. So even if it's them and them come over, you not get no more jobs at the same people them have to work.
The same people them have come over.
Same people have to work. All him do, him collect from the government now, which can't take an interest. Because him have the rubbish truck. Them full of truck, you know. But not only that, if you move the Riverton City dump door, instead of you recycle, I've recycled a way to go. But if you move that dump and put it in a different parish, like 2 parishes down or 3 parishes down, now it's harder for you clean Kingston and St. Andrew people where most of the people them live. Kingston, St. Andrew, and over Portmore. We are carry the rubbish. When remember the road them small and thing, when by you forgot drop off one load and come back at it. You can't make a next trip.
Here's the thing. Me know the Riverton dump. We know it very well. We used to live right across the street from it. We used to go over there and go through the dump myself.
All right.
We know over there, so. We used to go over there, go through the garbage, and we used to go over there, go catch crab too. Right?
Mm-hmm. You know, I see Dr. Crab when you catch the crab. You never catch him. I catch him to Ratti. Don't them the day, you know. Man, you rescue him out and let him go for win Ratti. Make him mash up the place, you know. You can't come down and river, you know.
Never go ask some Bridgman Tigo. Can I watch a program, you know? If
Rattigan, you should have seen that one coming, Rattigan. You just walked into it.
Maria, I never see that call.
No, come suppose I'm shaking in them class now. People think that I'm saying them boots now. In them class. Come and shake in them class.
But you raise a good point. If you move it from Riverton, where is the location? We're going to move the dump to?
Manchester?
Yeah. No, too far.
No, certainly not uptown. Certainly not uptown. So they're going to find another poor community to put it in to make the Jamaican people, children sick. Okay? That's what they're going to do. So wherever they take it, Rattigan, it's not going to affect rich people.
No, but it costs them more money.
But Mr. Crab now, because everybody now start right about Alice and out the Crab Circle and Tigo. Somebody said, Tigo, you boil Dr. Crab. Maria, we have to warn before we say them things. We have to clear them with you because you see, him quick, you know. Him quick, so him jump off on it right now. No, people are blaming me now. They must have should have catch a crab long time and they wouldn't have any problem.
I tell you, come and give a problem, man. Then him a part of it was saying go put Ron James on interdiction, you know. I am saying Google Kaka. Adam. So they come and get trouble out here for catch him by him Ratti. You catch him and let him go Ratti make him escape.
No, you want to see, we go over there one time, you know, go catch some crab, you know. And the man, then make we go and catch a crab, you know, we'll go with the cutlass. And you know, the crab them in the hole, so you have to dig them out and things like that, and shine the flashlight on them. And the man in my Riverton make we go to the crocus bag, and when you catch the bag of crab, you know, you have to walk from the back where the dump, they come out of the front on Spanish Town Road. Them just sling out of the front and wait for me and just take our crab. Them take out the whole, so them have the crab.
And them take out the crab not get out of the bag, man. See my create a book people in Jamaica. Yeah, man. I crab a create a book, man. But what upon
No. If you think about it, we can't. The only place we can't think of when them could have probably put the dump is like, you know, out of ferry way there. But that's not too far from Riverton either. That's right on the other side of Riverton.
So you make the smoke now on the side. So when you drive nearer to the highway now, it block you up from Mandela. If you can't out of ferry and
right over that side, yeah.
Where the man carry it? I've just a Clarendon, you know.
Them carry on the other side. Them can carry on the other side. They want a place on them used to call Spring on the other side of Mandela. Like when you pass out, there was Primo used to there.
We are turn up and go.
Like you go down to the police station, which part the cotton tree used to there, and you just go over to the right hand side, over on the side.
Yeah, right hand side and go up where they
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, but when they smoke and everything on the hill now, the whole of people them have run off of the hill. When they catch fire, the whole of people them have run off already and them thing there, you know. The whole up there. So when them have carried the dump itself. Because them now them remember, you know, them just come and chat, you know. But my brain so fast, you know, sometimes I have to question them if them listen themselves, Ratti. Them question themselves, so it cost taxpayers a lot of money. Remember, most of the people them living at Kingston, St. Andrew, and Portmore, they say, you know, St. Catherine, you know. Majority of the people, the population, Kingston, you have about 1.9 million people. Believe it or not. Over Portmore alone, around 400,000, 400,000. In a Kingston and St. Andrew, 1.8 million people. You see it? More than half of the population. So when you move the dump, and then we go, I don't know where the market if I carrying down. When a man come, all right, we have a bird in a drive right now, and him say sometime he can make 2 trips. And he still all right the same ago. By the time if we go down, they truck them for empty out and you know, can't make 2 trips. So how much trip him can make? How much trip him can make? Can I go around, pick up and then drive, and then you have to put in the traffic and the congestion in it, you know. And then for go wait a dump, you know, and come back at town now, you know.
Yeah, them can't look, them can't go them can't put it at east. If them can't put it at east.
It can't go center.
Yeah, them wait after the right round the ferry area, round the so.
All right.
The highway, they move it from
so. And what
the summer around the so.
Then put a recycling thing in there.
Take it to St. Catherine. Take it to somewhere in St. Catherine. That's where you have to go there.
And then when you drive, go there from, you come from Harborview with rubbish.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Harborview, or Port Royal, and you have to drive away with the rubbish. You tell me now if it make any sense, if it's feasible. And then you tell me. Eh? And at this man, I tell you, say, a damage goods, when them talk,
you see now, which part of spring there's somebody, Sam just said they might develop that now with a lot of factories, so them can't put it over that side there.
All right. So then cap, all right.
You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? Them gonna give one of them friend a consultancy for figure out where to put that dump and get the consultancy for 10 years. For 10 years, them will give them and them now move the dump. Them now gonna move it. That's what them are doing. People make some money.
That is 100. That's 100% for Rattigan. Some they're gonna give a friend money to do nonsense, you know. But gentlemen, can we take a look at what the Prime Minister said about education and going to? They just signed an agreement to build a STEM school, and he said, "Do you know what STEM is? Science, technology, engineering, and math." And I'm saying that you have schools already in Jamaica. Why not invest in one school per parish, upgrade the school, train the teachers, and is that because Jamaica don't have the teachers to do it? You know, they're not being paid properly, so they take their skills other places. Train the teachers there, and utilize what you already have. Because if you notice, going back to what Michael Manley did, looking at his 1973 May 5th, 1973 speech, when he looked at education and he broke it down by numbers. He knew how many students were going to go from high school, who were in secondary school, who were not going to get their O levels at the first try or A levels, and he broke it down and said, "Okay, we're going to create a system to help these students." And he changed the age from 15 to 17, which means now a child could not graduate from school at 15 because that child would not be ready for life. So instead of borrowing more money, putting Jamaicans in debt to do something that you already have schools there, tells me that the government does not have the foresight and the vision to do this thing. So when he's talking about education, that's an abject failure. The minister is an abject failure, because use what you have to get what you want. So instead of borrowing money, pay the teachers properly, utilize the schools there. All he has to do, because even in North America, in the United States, I know for a fact that they break up large high schools. And in large high schools, you can have up to 4 different high schools. And you can have a high school that focuses on engineering, a high school that focuses on fashion, and high school that focuses on different things on one compound. So you have various high schools across the country. All they have to do is strategically look at it, place select a high school, upgrade it to suit the needs of the STEM program, train the teachers, and channel those children who want to be in those programs into that particular school. But there was no need to go and borrow more money now, put the country further in debt for something that needed a little more thought into what it is that they want to do.
Maria, them need a chop them money they do, you know. Them want to borrow it for chop it. So I don't like them borrow it for building boat no school. Because tell me something, Maria. If you have you have a child who go any one of those high school, top high school, just call one of the top high school then. Call one of them Herb.
Champion. Champion.
Your government go come in and do that. Yeah, all right. So Champion. So your child got champion now, people. So you can make the government, campaign, the grade where your child and can do the maths and the science and deal with them things. You can make the government come build a brand new school and take out your child and tell you to cut your child out of champion. You're not going to do it, and go put in a STEM school where you don't know about them teacher, them grading, nothing at all. Make any sense? No. The man them make, from January last year to the last part of August is 2,400 and teacher gone. 2,400 and migrate. Them resign. I thought the one them were retired. Leave. I know you're telling me about STEM school and I talk about the kids them and you're going to do this and do that. Foolishness.
But wait.
Yes, Maria.
Another point. In the high schools in Jamaica, when students get up to third form, between first and third form is when they do the preliminaries. When they're getting ready, by the reach third form, they will have a sense of what it is the fields that they would like to go into. So when they're getting ready to go into fourth form now, those children would have now decided what it is that they want to study. If they want to go to study science, then they go to a fourth form class that focuses on science. So they do the math, the English, and more science subjects. If they want to do commercial studies like accounting and those things, then they go to a class that focuses on commercial studies. So it is not that the blueprint is not there. It just needs to be upgraded to suit the needs of the moment. And when he talks about technology, it was Minister Philip when Paul was Minister of Technology that he brought a lot of technological advancements and changes into the Jamaican school system and economic sphere. So it's not that it is not in place. It's just that the government of today does not have the vision of how to utilize what they have, how to leverage what they have to benefit young people. So he doesn't have to build a new school, He doesn't have to do that because the schools are already operating like that. Yes. They're teaching technical drawing. They have a fourth form that the students who want to do technical drawing, yes, they will still do math, English, and they will also have that fourth form that focuses on technical drawing, that focuses on cosmetology, that focuses on agriculture science for those who wants to go into those fields. But this high schools are structured in that way to prepare students for the working world, to prepare students for the economy that is at play right now. So I don't know what the Prime Minister is talking about. I don't know what the Minister of Education is thinking, and I don't know what the Finance Minister is thinking when they would go and borrow money to build a STEM school when they can upgrade the current system to work and meet the needs of a STEM program.
Well, let me tell you, so them just come when they run out of ideas. Because when they have some blueprint of work and they run out, them have to say something and them don't know what to say. I would have scrunch it up and tell them, say, yo, we run out of ideas and stop. So you run out with a market thing that, say, okay, tell the government to do this. The duty-free thing, push up the money to 150, you push it up to 100, and you post. And then they matter about the bus system. And say it will benefit everybody. Here the Prime Minister now, they might buy 300 new buses. 300. They might come in with 300 new buses. And I tell you about, it want in pan time with our road and the kind of thing, or it's and thing, but I know you run pan time. And then it will benefit 300 new buses can benefit the whole of Jamaica. That is crap again. Crap. If we have 400 odd buses that we now roll them out, even if we roll up 400 odd buses, it can benefit. And that's Kingston and St. Andrew and over Portmore there. So, go at Spanish Town over Portmore and, and have 2 down there. So it now benefit the whole country. You don't need thousands of buses. Where my talking make no sense. Them both benefit the whole country. And by the way, about, I want to know, them can cut. Listen, if a bus are running at the red, where them do have to just go look, a vote, them are buy. Him a look vote. Them are both vote buyers. Because what you do is push the bus company in a bankruptcy. Brother, me crush numbers fast, me crunch them. And no one can stand in front of me and come tell me no bag of foolishness like we are talking about dollar stable. That is not a stable dollar. A dollar will move up and down, it's not stable. Something was stable, it stands still. Stable. Stay. Like Barbados, or like you know, when you go, then you go Antigua, you go down in a St. Lucia, you know, the dollar like $2.72, but $2.70 EC for $1 US. You know how long it stays, so they go down them place the decades. And it the same way it stay. So we know it's that's stable. But why, you know, fluctuate. So it fluctuates. So it move like this. Even that when I tell people, we stabilize the dollar, you move it from 120 where you get it from 119, 120, you carry it at nearly 160. Stop that, and that alone push up everything from people. What if you stop chat foolishness? See the dollar, yeah? See the dollar there? And see wait valid there. See that one I can't see. See that? You see the month and them thing I see there? You see it? So you see it up and down, right? It's not stable. So it's not that look like it's stable to you? No, it's not. Where's the herb?
The issue with the STEM and the STEAM. STEAM is when they add in the arts. STEAM, right? So they add arts into it. And it wouldn't be so bad if they're going to create 6 of those schools across the country, but come up with specifics. Like in Texas and some other states here in the US, we have high school for law enforcement. We have high school for health services, right? We have they're training kids to do actual skill. And they're giving them the background to be able to go to med school, right? Specifying the right sciences.
Let me ask you something though, Herb.
Yeah.
Them say them want to build a STEM school because the kids them now do good, so you want to teach them maths and science. Maths, you know, is not an easy. We might have crunch number, but it's not an easy thing for enough people. That subject and not enough people of that subject and science. So you want to teach some kids when I learn where graduate and can't read and write properly. You want to teach them maths and science. You know, so when I say, me not telling you say when I don't care, man. Oh, you got to teach some kids now maths and science, and you want them compare with American kids and China kids them. When them not learning at the first place, Herb. It make any sense, Maria?
Well,
that make any sense, Ratti? But them not learn.
The road,
yeah, them can't read and write when them come out good. Oh, you gotta teach them maths and science, and them can't read and write, you know. But you gotta teach them the whole of these things, and then you gotta make them bright now and turn them into scientists and everything, you know, and like China kids, them and America kids and first world kids. You know, sister, donkey poop them attack, brother. You got it?
Keep this in mind. Keep this in mind, Wayne. In the old days, when we in the family won scholarships to like St. George's and to Calabar, my brother had to go off to senior school because he wasn't bright enough. So he went to the senior school before it became high school. And then he went to Kingston Tech. So what they had to do was to sharpen him enough to learn technology. His technology was, he became an electrician and wire the National Stadium and the arena in Jamaica. Right?
That's why Michael Mann, they bring in these things from the 70s. So it them revamp and call it art. And I say, we create, you don't create nothing. Same thing. You have the youth service and you have apprenticeship. And him tell you why, and him tell you one why, and tell you how them school they run, and one way if you do, and one way him do. Right? And that art I do now, don't they train people to do carpenter and mason work, and other things too? Yep. The same thing, man, did that teach back in the same thing when him come with. National service, and when you go back go teach and you give back, and him tell you one if you not pass the whole level, you pass the whole level and go for your level. Him tell you one way you do. You go teach in a Jamal, you go teach back in a school, and then when your time come back, you go pass the test and you do what. If your brain not so good, you learn a trade. Him teach you a trade same way. So what the difference? And what am I tell me say? So you rebrand a school and call it art, and then it have more teachers than students. And I done up some money and now get no. And but I certify you. None of them teachers they don't know what them are doing now. Because them are gonna teach a theory, but them don't know practical. Because somebody a teach you some welding or art and them can't light the torch. Believe it or not, never cousin will go there, them couldn't light it. He have to show them how to light it. Yeah. So I'm gonna teach you about, remember, you know, you take longer to learn, but not the days where you have apprenticeship. Like in the 70s. You go a tailor. And him a teach you, him start teach you for press, out seam and then M. Right? And then him teach you for cut. Then him a teach you for in space and no time you can sew. And do your thing. When you go to school now, like art, take you 2 years for the sew one pants. Because I know what you take and then your brain it make it sound look more complicated than for the sew the pants. Believe it or not. You understand? So it does hold them back. We know all these things. So when them run up and down and chat about a foolishness, I say, I want to move, man. Come on now, man. Get real. Get real. When you come and talk about me create the thing name, how we do this, how we come with this. Come with what? When you just need rebrand something or rename something and then lift on us in trust. And you still throw the man under the bus. Yes, Ratti?
Well, you have a very lively chat, and not only is the chat lively, but the chat is highly educated because they will put up some really good arguments, they will ask some good questions, they will make some good observations. I mean, I'm learning just from looking in the chat, and I just want to big up the chat, everybody in the chat, because that's what makes the show so interesting. That I can look over here and then I can, you know, plant a seed, give me an idea, give me a nugget, and then now me can make it seem like me bright and just say it to Lonesome, I hope Lonesome no see it, you know, say it flash past. But no, it's a lot of good ideas in the chat. A lot of good ideas. Yeah, and you know, it comes back to the idea that okay, you build all of them schools, but where are the teachers? You know,
all right.
The teachers, 4 of them they're down the street from me, by the way. You know, if I'm look for 4 teachers, 4 of them they're like a school right down the street. I meet one of them about 2 weeks ago. 4 of them they're right down the street. My little neighborhood there. 4 of them in a one school right down the street, right? So first of all, the teachers they need to be taught. The so-called teachers, because we still have some outstanding teachers in Jamaica, but they're not enough because a lot of them migrate. So now they have to infuse that category with people who are less than qualified and try and get them up to speed. People who heretofore would not even be considered to go in our classroom. They're now in the classroom. I teach. So now you're going to bring in the STEM and STEAM and fire and wood and all kind of schools, and you say, okay, but who will teach them? The teachers need to be taught. So who will be teaching the children? It's I don't understand.
But first, Rattigan, the children need to be able to read and write. That is the first problem, you know. They cannot read and write. And what Manley did in the 70s was he used the high school young people who did not make it the O-levels the first time or the A-levels. And he used them to go back into the system to teach the children to read and write. Remember now, German was also an integral part of the literacy program. So you had an over 90% literacy rate in Jamaica. So when you have 60% of young people who have no certification, no skills, and 65% who don't have any academic training, that's a serious deficit right there, Rattigan. So when they're going to talk about creating a STEM school, work with what you already have. Do that. How about using some of those young people to teach children, even in after-school programs, how to read and write? Train the teachers properly. Invest in the teachers' colleges, right? And put those, so when those teachers graduate, they can go into the system now and, like Manley did in the 1970s, use young people to motivate young people. That's what he did. And he said, okay, I give you 2 years. And in that 2 years, while you're preparing to do your O-levels again, you are also teaching some basic school children to read and write, or some primary school age children to read and write. So when they are finished, they can go on to junior secondary or from junior secondary to secondary, or somewhere in the high school. So there was a system in place that targeted children based on age, based on need. That is not there right now. So they can talk all they want about STEM and this and that. They have to get back to basics, and the basics, reading and writing. You can't do math if you can't read and write. You know, it's as simple as that. To do math effectively, you have to read and write.
So Maria, so the administration did put the kids them first.
Yes, he put the kids first because it was a vision. Exactly. Right, but it was a vision, you know, for the country, for the people, for the future. It was that vision. It wasn't just about winning an election now. Like Rattigan played this this speech by the late Miles Monroe about leaders, and that leaders are vision. Politicians only think about winning the next election, but a leader thinks forward ahead. And I would dare say Michael Manley was a leader, because we're still talking about Michael Manley in 2023. That man died in 1997. His administration was 1972, and we're 72, 76. Then he came back again in 89. So we're still talking about it because he put in place institutions that we're still benefiting from today. Right? And if they follow the model that was laid, that was put in place, then they could address the problem of illiteracy in Jamaica. But guess what? What my Siaga did was he sabotaged the government. He won the election. When he came into power, what he did, he dismantled all those programs that were benefiting poor people. Here we are in 2023. So all of those problems started back then. And the governments, some have tried, but the Jamaican Labour Party government has not seriously looked at the education system, looked at the crime problem and how they can address it. Because to address the crime problem, you have to address education. You have to address it from the basic school level, primary school, secondary, high, all the way up to tertiary, because everybody is needed. You need skills. You need vocational training, but that is not in place right now. And schools had vocational training departments, because you had woodwork, you had the home economics, you had needlework department. Okay, you had the agricultural science department, you had a science department, you had language department, whether it's French or Spanish. So those things were in place. Those things need to be upgraded, and further money needs to be invested into these things. So instead of borrowing money to go and build a school, invest in that. Some of the money that is lost through corruption could be invested into these schools that are already there. Train the teachers properly and put them into these school system, because guess what? The children are more than willing to learn. But how can they learn if, one, they are hungry, and two, they cannot read and write? So you have to address the issues that are facing the young people right now. And it starts from the basic school level. Teach them to read and write properly so that they can go through the system literate, and they will become better students, and they will move on. They will move through the system and graduate. And who will want to go to tertiary will go to tertiary, and who want to go vocational training will do so, who wants skills training will do so, because everybody is needed. Every job is important.
Let me say this. Kids cannot learn if they have hungry bellies. So you know that poverty is the only way to attack poverty. Partially, you're not going to do it fully, is to feed the kids when they come to school early, give them breakfast, and before they go home, give them a big lunch, right? If they have to starve till the next morning, then, you know, they may have to starve or eat crackers and tea or whatever. Because we used to do that at home, bush tea and crackers. And maybe crackers with bully beef or something. So your Jamaican mothers can improvise. They know how to improvise, right? But if the government makes sure that for 5 days of the week, the kids get a solid breakfast and a solid lunch, those kids will learn. But when you're on a hungry belly and you're worried where your next meal coming from, then you give up because come to school, go through the motions. You say when?
Somebody named Sexy Fat. I say in a man the time, student education, free education system, and student learning much. Teachers were running away. No. If the kids themselves, that's why they have National Health Service, turn around and even teach. My mother used to teach them all too, So him use, but even the same kids them teach. So when you come with this, we know about this, man. You understand? I remember
there was a feeding program.
With the money.
Remember, in the schools, there was a feeding program, not Nutribon and milk, It was a hot meal.
Yeah, man, them have that.
That was prepared at the canteen. Okay? So children were fed during the sem. They could go to school and get a hot lunch, as Herb said. And we all know, no child who is hungry will learn. But back in the 70s, children were going to school and getting a hot lunch every single day. Every single day. So we need to revisit some of those things that worked and bring them into the 21st century. But because the system needs to be addressed, the problem needs to be addressed and be addressed in an effective way that benefits the Jamaican people. And you cannot deal with crime if you do not deal with the problems of education. You cannot deal with education if you don't address the issue of poverty and hunger that is taking over.
Absolutely.
So Ratti, Maria Herb, tell me something now. Tell me something for not serious one. And people in the chat, can't know win in the chat, right? Tell me something where owners come in with good. Cause it's them good, so that I go bad. Them come with a Zozo, state of emergency, say them at work. What happened to them, Ratti? Them work? Nothing what the Prime Minister come with our government work, Nothing, I tell you this, The next thing, the thing them come with, wait name again about the ID. When I tell you, say that's the only ID.
Needs.
That work? Anything where the man come with, him not come with nothing, I know what work. Nothing. Him come and tell you, say, I'm going to fix the thing, the system. Matter of fact, him make you sleep with the window and door up. Now man try it and him get gunshot. So you take the word from the Prime Minister and go sleep with the window and door up, Ratti? No people never want to come to Jamaica, brother.
I don't know if you all talk about this, but you notice the Chinese just gave them 2.9 billion Jamaican dollars.
For security. For security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now that's more money that need to be tracked. That much money. That's the same amount of money the British Foreign Minister came down and gave them about 6 months back.
Yeah,
and we
for
at-risk
youth.
At-risk youth, yeah. So both of them, in my estimation, youth going to have to be involved. So what plan do they have afoot? All right, where's the transparency? And how can we support a plan that they have, a viable plan that would work? That's the problem. If everything is a secret, then we can't help. But if you have planning out there and show a development process and see where we can fit in, then by all means, the diaspora can fit in and make a contribution.
Yes, sir. But Ratti, Maria, me really want to know. We just think of something where work, where the government come with the work. We're not biased, not at all. We just attack the truth, Because Crab him not have no style, him not have no plan, not no work. Ligel Clark, I went logarithms. Them do a lot of spinning, but we know the Fantastic Four around here, we don't allow them to do spinning around here. Fantastic 5 because we have the yes, 5. So we don't allow them to do no spinning around here. We're not going to do that. Not around here, so. Just tell me something good with them. Just my DJ, Christopher Tufton, DJ Tufton. Him no. When
That,
coming
you,
to the
you
thing where
that's your prime artist now, right?
I'm a prime artist, man. Prime
go.
suspect. Yeah, man. I'm a prime artist. You see? But right now, me have something where a man just died on a Lionelton Hospital. He want a little puff. Asthma pump.
Asthma, yeah,
And the TV
nebulizer.
want a little puff. And you see him sit down and take him last breath. Just sit down and everybody just round him now. They've never looked on him. Him gone. This is so bad. Eh? See the family attack and then you have Andrew, come on, man. Come on. I'm not care for people, man. You understand me? You talk about care for people. Me see Mandley him alter the balance in favor of the black and the poor. We're not true.
You know,
It's
one of
true.
the things, again, now if we go back to the chat room, I mean, they might put up some good ideas. One of the things is that somebody mentioned, quite a few people mentioned that they might have Jamaican teachers in their neighborhoods. And that somebody said that they might take picture with them with the flag. And that's true because the four people down the street from me, them have a day with them celebrate Jamaica, you know. I'm living in the middle of nowhere, and them have a day with them celebrate Jamaica for the teachers, them.
Yeah, man.
And also, one of the things that we need to focus on is leadership. And this education minister is clueless. She's cool. Even people within our own party telling me that she's clueless. She has no idea what she's doing. And that's not good. And another look at her. Just look at. Here's how you can tell a leader. If a leader who's been around for a while, we're all humans. We're all gonna make mistakes. And the true quality of a leader is when them say, even when them troops make the mistake, him say, no, I take responsibility because I'm in charge. I take responsibility. Now, look at the Jamaican leaders, meaning that the government leaders, at the ministerial level and at the prime minister level. And look, if you ever seen any one of them say, you know what, I made a mistake. That was a bad decision on my part, and I'll make sure it doesn't happen. I'm trying to find an example of one of them coming out and saying, you know what, that's my mistake. I made a mistake. Them keep pushing it off, and it's the same thing with Minister Favour Williams. I've yet to hear her, and we're gonna do a piece on. Oh, by the way, if she's listening, Minister Favour Williams, we're gonna do a piece on you next week. You know, we're gonna do a piece on you next week to show how much of a failure you are, not only to your community, but to the children and to the country of Jamaica. And that despite your failure, we still have successes we can talk about, including the four young men who won the debate contest for 2023. Despite the fact that we have poor teachers, we have poor, well, let's say poor teachers, not to criticize the teachers who are there, but let's say poor teachers, meaning that the ones who are just coming in, who are not teachers, right? We have them teaching our children. And what that means is that the ones who are there who are experienced, a lot of that fall on their shoulders now, and they're not being paid adequately. So that's why whenever you see them run, you can't blame them. You can't blame them, because what are they staying for? I mean, the passion and passion and the love for your job, and that can only go so far, because at the end of the day, you're gonna have to pay your bills. You're gonna have to pay your bills, and you have to feed your family. And so, as much as they'd love to stay, they can't stay. When they get a teaching opportunity overseas, they run with it, because look how they treat them very well. At least the four down the street from me, they're treated very well, very well. So the leadership thing for me is a big thing. We don't have any leaders there. We don't. And when somebody's gonna look at you, a leader at the highest element of government, and lie to you, then the question you have to ask yourself is, what do I expect from the rest? Because this prime minister, and I can say it without fear of contradiction, fear of being sued, fear of being criticized. This prime minister made a 100-day promise where he said within the first 100 days, we're going to submit legislation concerning term limits for the prime minister. He said that in his own words. He said that last year he was in America. Jeffrey Tavares asked him that question and said, "Sir, you mentioned that and said within the first 100 days, and here we are years later. What happened?" And he said, and I'm paraphrasing, he said that provision was in the 2016 manifesto, but it's not in the 2020 manifesto. And then Jeffrey wasn't allowed a follow-up question. But guess what? I went and I looked in the 2016 manifesto. It's not there. I went and I looked in the 2020 manifesto. It's not there. And so I can say without fear of any reprisal, without fear of any lawsuit, any criticism, that Mr. Prime Minister, on this one, you told a big, fat lie. And you didn't have to do it. Didn't have to do it. There are many ways you could have explained your failure to deliver on that. But you chose to lie to the people of the diaspora, and that's why your reputation and your character, they're mud as far as we're concerned in the diaspora, because you're a liar. On this point, I don't care about the other points, we can talk about them, but this one, you lied, and you lied unnecessarily. And like my mother said, God bless her soul, every liar is a thief.
All right, Ratti, now move from this because you said this one. So with the girl at the house and broke down with the when them tell him and a gang, that was a true? That was true, Ratti? Or a lie too?
Oh, okay.
Them brought down a one day. It was true a lie. When him go for peanut with and say him watch everything and peanut with go good and him go teach. That was true because Mr. Peanut with say cut out woman things and do all kind of things, you know. Him say him watch them, you know. And the good message, him to come spread the message to the youth them. That message, right? Him just lie. So when him talk about him great grandmother, it was true, Ratti. And him father, so stop me wrong. This man is a serial liar.
Listen, man. Listen, brethren. I love your chat room. I wish them could have come up on my thing. Don't leave Lonesome, but just come join me on a Saturday.
No, even them join you, man.
No, them are give me some wicked ideas because right now, one of the things them I say is overarching. You know, the convention or the conference today, looming very largely over it was the fact that they have not named the 6 politicians.
That alone, them done.
Not. They have not.
Yeah.
And you see what's Integrity Commission. Well, you see what they did. Them just put it out. Say, hey, we have submitted the reports.
Yeah.
We're done. We submitted the reports. It's up to them now. And that was key to that. Didn't hear them. You notice, hear them talk nothing about integrity and honesty and
the SSL, them are try to kill it. No, them look proud with them not fear, you know. Them dishonest body, you know. Every liar that thief for you know, Ratti, them a chopper. The government is a chopper government. It's a chopper government, man. Them worse than El Chopper, you know. And them true El Chopper. El Chopper from Mexico. And them train him. It's a chopper government. Yes, Maria.
But wait, Rattigan mentioned diaspora. The Prime Minister said that Rattigan's girlfriend is the best performing foreign minister. Okay? Now, let's look at Jamaica's standing in the world as a result of this Jamaica Labour Party government. There was a time, you know, when, especially under the Michael Manley-led administration, Portia Simpson, PJ Patterson, where when it came to international affairs, the members of CARICOM and other countries outside of CARICOM looked to Jamaica for leadership. That's not happening anymore. Why is that so? Because of the lack of credibility, not only on the part of the Prime Minister, but on the part of Rattigan's best friend. Right? So, no, my girlfriend. that was further cemented with the debacle in the United Nations the other day. Okay? So she is not the best performing foreign affairs minister. She is the worst performing minister. And Jamaica standing in the world right now on the world stage is in the toilet. It's in the toilet. God help Mark Golding and he wins, it's going to take a lot of work on his part to rebuild those friends, those allies that they once had. Look how Andrew Holness just basically defecated all over Venezuela.
Yes.
How do you do that? And then he did that over Venezuela, and all the people that he did that on behalf of,
yes,
they're good graces of Venezuela, you know. Jamaica is not, because Jamaica cannot be trusted. So Mark Golding now has a task on his hand, like former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller, like former Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips, to rebuild Jamaica's image in the international sphere, because it was tarnished, it was shredded by Bruce Golding. They did that. And here you have Andrew Holness led administration. They came and they're doing the very same thing because they cannot be trusted. Nobody in CARICOM trusts Jamaica. They don't trust Andrew Holness. So Mark Golding needs to from now start craft his argument that he's now going to make, his pitch now to the CARICOM to say, listen, we gotta get back to that place where you look to us for leadership. We got to get back to that place. But it's not going to happen under Andrew Holness and under Apina.
So tell me something, Maria. Under fear and Apila, yeah, man, a chameleon. Remember she leave the people them in China, you know, in the pandemic, you know. And she turned back in the war in Ukraine. She said them for go borrow money. Which party are going to borrow money, Ratti? A foreign minister. I tell you for go borrow money and come home. When bomber drop. And she still let us up. Eh? And by the way, let me show them a look at thing. Look on this. You saw this mash up? It's a madman that smashed it up, saying the police have knock him, you know. All madman up on the street now. Andrew. I make the people them go mad, you know. Andrew, you know. See there? They mash up the car, grand spend, you know. You see it? See there? Look here. Shut on killing a grand spend, see there? All him know, you know, if the police
then you have to talk about the training. What the training where him say them get to deal with situations like that.
Ratti, don't you supposed to have some riot gear, some shield. You don't have to shoot him.
No, you have non-lethal ways of dealing with something like that. By the way, let me just
my Bellevue and make him get him shot. Him not supposed to dead.
Let me just say,
this is the force where Google Gaga. Google I said Gaga, you my blame. You and crab. The same crab Ratti let go catch. And he get to the youth, them take with the bag and let him go. You have to catch and bag you up, you know. You know what you get trouble, you know. But you go a good job still because you bag him up. And the youth, them will take the bag from you, man. And them make that crab give you so much problem, Ratti. Dr. Crab. And them, brother.
Hey, let me just say that, but I love the chat room. People in the chat, a lot of them say them come over on Saturday and support me. Hey, thank you very, very much. I look forward to serving you guys on a Saturday because it's service for me. You know, it's passion and it's my pleasure. And I'm truly thankful and great, you know, eternally indebted to you for showing up and supporting me on a Saturday. But some of you know, you make now people over there now start to me say, the minister will sue me for child support, and the minister this, and and next thing you know, the minister is married, and her husband might take it to heart, you know, and start look for me and things like that. I mean, no want that happen. You know? So why do the people when they refer to her, they refer to her as Ratti girlfriend or Ratti wife or so?
No, we have to ask Maria, make it know. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Thanks, Tissa. Thanks, Marie.
So now you might Herb.
The way things going is like Ratti owner. So you might as well lay a claim. You know? Yeah, I don't think the woman can go to sleep one night without having you in the back of her head. That must affect her relationship at home and everywhere else.
I know, you know, them have a saying, you know, it's just loose talk anyway. That loose talk that is saying that I watch it, somebody say I'm a side chick. They said that I was I was making a move at her at one point, and she spurned my request, and so
let me say this.
Making a move at her.
When I ran that on the Chat GPT, that's exactly what Chat GPT says. I see your motivation.
You serious?
Yes, absolutely. I thought I told you in the past.
No, you never tell me.
This is months ago from the time this thing come up.
And you know, people, let me just tell you something. Let me just make a confession. Make a confession about Minister Kamina Johnson Smith to all of you. All right. This is a revelation and it's a confession. I've never met her. Never met the woman, never spoken to her. So I don't know where this is coming from.
Well,
and if she says she meet me, if she said, oh, I've met, she's lying. And if she said I've spoken to him, she's lying. I've never spoken to her. I've never met her. I've seen her once with my two eyes, and this was you know when it was, Herb? This was when this in Jamaica when you and Rupert at the Pegasus, when they had that diaspora thing. She was there that night, but she was on the other side talking to somebody. Right. This was what, 5 years ago?
No, 2016.
2016. There you go.
That's
yes. We met with her at the ministry, and the national security team came over. And then I remember we went to a church service at her church in Matilda's Corner. Right? But, you know, everything was looking good back in the day. I don't think she would give us a time of day today.
Yeah, I never saw her. I walked in the Pegasus and I walked in, you know, the bar on your right hand side. I had to meet somebody over there. And she was on the other side, like you go into the front desk. Because then I met the person, and we were standing there looking around, and we saw a whole bunch of dignitaries. And that's where I saw you and I saw her, Rupert. Yeah, but somebody said that maybe I don't have a Facebook account. I don't have one. I think the radio station, I think they must have had one. I don't have a personal Facebook. I don't even know how to access those things, right? So I've never met this woman and I've never spoken to her.
So maybe it's somebody else.
Somebody else.
Herb met her, yes.
I heard. Herb met her. Herb, you met her, right?
I'm not as lucky as Ratti is, you know.
No, but you met her. But you met her, right? You met her.
Right, I did.
Okay.
So,
I met her. Yeah.
Herb. Yes. Herb.
Somebody after you, Ratti. I know. You know, they're trying to tie you together somehow.
No, 401 Eastbound. No, I've never met the woman. I'm not following in Bill Clinton's footsteps. I'm saying I've never met that woman. No.
Well, you're pulling that Shaggy. It wasn't me.
It wasn't me. It was Herb.
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 It's a Herb. Yeah, man. And a serious note, I know when you think of the government and, Andrew Holness just go on and continue with the lies and then hype off and nothing and then blame game can't move a country. Can you imagine Germany there now wanna blame Adolf Hitler for going to Germany? It's the #1 country in the world right now, It did mash up. In 1945 when the war ended, it mashed up. A matter of fact, Soviet Union have part of it and the Allies have the other part. Yeah? And then build it back. And right now it's at the powerhouse. A long time it's at the powerhouse for Europe. It's at the richest and the black.
No, here's somebody said, right, that, and it's been said many times, that the Prime Minister is desperate because he's now asking for people, begging people not to cast away the party, to remember that what they've done and not to switch, not to vote in the opposition.
State of emergency, the hard arrogance and for them thing for chop people money, brother. Them are chopper in Ratti. Them are real choppers. It's a chopper government.
Here's what I would suggest to everybody. Just it's on YouTube. Go ahead and just take a look at the video of today's conference. Look at his body language. He looks like a person who's defeated. And then when he started talking about the elections, he said at a time and a place next year, at a time and a place to be decided that they're going to call the local elections. And here's what he said. And when he said it, he didn't say it as somebody who was confident. He said, I have no fear in facing the people of Jamaica. We believe in the people of Jamaica. Then he went on to say, people who weren't born in the 70s don't know how the other party destroyed Jamaica. There's a blame game.
So
instead of saying, look,
instead of saying, look, destroy Jamaica, you know. In the 60s, then lap up to the same people who turned PSOJ. Them that do not all for poor people, nothing. Them couldn't read and write, a man they come rescue them. So all this universe they did free, not under Shearer. But that, by the way, him get dead man seat. Because him never run an election to turn a prime minister. Yeah? So no history. Okay? So him, Shearer, they never said nothing.
Well, Andrew did benefit then from Michael.
He benefit from Manley, of course.
Yeah. And it just reminds me of what the justice here name that benefit from the affirmative action program. The Supreme Court justice, a vote against it. Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of thing, where he says, I got mine. I don't care about you getting yours.
Not only that, him run administration now. Him not have nothing for sure. Him live on the housing trust. Who farm the housing trust, people? That's why you can't listen to him, because the housing trust, that are the brainchild of Manley. Fee him tenure as a prime minister, him come with this, I say, it close to him heart. When you can put your child them in a room and them can sleep good. You as a mother or a father, you can him say it. And him do what him have to do. And now Andrew Holness, the lioness man will walk the face of the earth. Each up a cut ribbon every day. Him use housing trust money to build an apartment there where I can go to live in a it flood out. For much money, I want 35 nearly 40 million for one of that is not even an apartment.
You see what happened now, Ratti? You see what happened, Ratti?
Yeah. What's that?
A catching daily tell me she now may bring one back to church anymore. So when y'all get me in trouble, put me in the doghouse.
No man. Me not put you in a Agintai house. So you're good.
See, so what happened was that he was talking about the local election, and then he said that the people who again, people who weren't born in the 70s, they don't know how the other party destroyed Jamaica. Then he went on to discuss something called historical politics, where he said young people must understand history and gain an understanding of how far things have come, because Jamaica was on the brink of bankruptcy, but now they have the best rating in its history. Then he went on to say,
people they wait in the valley not all, really, to them and the big boys, them, not for Uno. Who wanna get for Barrow? You can't go bank and get anything for Barrow.
But here's the thing. That's why I'm saying we have to get to the minds of our people. Yes. Because he did say that. He said, look, the way the economy is, some of you are not feeling it. You're not seeing it, at home and in your pocketbooks. You're not seeing it, right? But they don't not hear the part. They don't hear the part. So we have the best rating. And then we don't realize that is only for the people with money.
I feel them buy, that's why you go buy the money for build STEM school where them a chop. Them borrow it and I chop it and one have to pay it back. We great grandparents have to pay it back. That them I do. So if you pay back your credit card one time, you will get more. You get more at the same thing. Bank lend you alone, you pay it off one time and you go back there, we lend you more. Okay? But that no make it. I'm number one, you should have grow yourself out of debt. No borrow. You can't borrow and survive, you're gonna mash up. And like me I tell Maria Herb Ratti,
see, going back to what Rattigan said about Andrew Holness blaming Michael Manley and
Mike, your mic, Maria.
Maria, the mic.
Mike.
Mr. Fry.
Okay, let me go out and come back here.
Yes. Yeah, Ratti. So him a blame, and the blame when I make it don't even make no sense. And him a tell like we live through that and we survive through that. I remember what dollar did heavy, you know. Look what the dollar value now. Can you imagine? Back in the days when I want for one, I want add for one, where you have 10 million, how much you have? 10 million US now. When I want for one, 10 million, 10 million. That Bahamas. No, 10 million. 10 million. If I want 50, I never want 50 to 1. But even if I want 50 to 1, 10 million, that'll be like 15 million, right? Yes. So when it gone 156 to 1, 57. You know much your 10 million now, you know much your 10 million value? 1.57, 57 million, $1.57 billion. 10 million. You tell me now where the country gone. Well, we have $5,000. Because we have $5,000 right now, you know. That for sure is some money gone a dirt. What is 5,000? When people are work less than $100 per week. 100, him I'll tell lies, so 100%. Him give the other, and that is a lie again.
That's another lie. Yeah, him said that. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, oh, but we did get something before that, you know. You 9,000 move from and
to 13.
And I remember the 9,000 for them more than 13,000 for the right now, people. Tell me, I tell you, crunch it. Go look for your light bill and look for your taxi fare and the food and everything. When $9,000 could have do, the 13 cannot. It need more. Because the money devalue and the money not stable neither. That's the next lie I tell you. Something more stable, it stay. If it's a 155, it no move. Okay? It can go 155, 50, 156, and go 157, come back when that mean it not stabilize. Yeah? So you can't say it stabilize. Foolishness. Garbage.
You see what happened? Again,
yes.
I think it's Loy Roach in the chat. He said the message was not for the average person that we saw in the arena today. And that's true. Because what happened is that the Prime Minister today, he had no good message to deliver to the crowd. So he couldn't come and speak the language of the people. So he have to talk like up there so. You know, he have to talk about GDP to debt and all of them things that were people know. Yeah, most people now not pay attention to that. And then them drop in a little piece and say, yeah, I know you're feeling the pinch, but we have the big, we have the group. When say we have the best rating in its history. Oh, and we have the lowest unemployment. And so him drop them things there, but then you know, him can't really explain to people because the thing about it is that there's no explanation. No plausible explanation. There's no explanation you can give people that people will say, okay, you know what? I will take this and sacrifice this because I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Let
me explain something to them, Ratti. You have some people that sell downtown right now, Coronation Market. And them are sell long time. And you know, and them plant food and thing. Them have more money in the bank. And them now have no credit ratings whatsoever. Zero. Them now have nothing to do with the bank like them have borrow money before. And them don't need to. But through them are sell and them are plant and them are sell them grow them way out of that. Them survive. Them can build them house and do what them want to do. Them have money in the bank same way, you know. But them not have the credit ratings. So when they matter about you have some people have credit ratings, them not have nothing. And like me I tell you, Ratti, because them work for just pay about them credit card and you have a 800%, you have a 800 thing they score ratings. And you feel so okay, me have a credit rating. That's the same thing with the government. Don't make him tell you nothing. The government are run over empty.
Listen, all I have to tell my people is this. Well, I have a lot of things to tell them, but one of the things I have to tell my people is this. The pay, the politicians' pay, right, got raised, what, on the average 200%.
Yeah, that nearly true.
They have no excuse now. No excuse now for not working. None.
I blame somebody else though. I blame something when not everything that I we 2 cents. All right.
But where's the work at?
Well, on the herb. We used to pay 2 cents per bus as a youth, 2 cents and 10 cents for big people, 10 cents. So 2 cents you pay per bus as a youth, and 10 cents for some people. Yeah? Allow me to tell? No. You're good. How much you pay per the bus now? $120 was the biggest denomination we have. After we come out a pound, shilling pence and pound shilling pence. Yeah, pound shilling and pence. $20 was the biggest money. We used to have paper 50 cents to come out 1974. Paper 50 cents. That means your money good. And where am I do? We don't know paper 50 cents and let you go see it. You never spend it at a shop yet. Enough people never spend it at a shop yet. And I tell? No. So when them come and tell you about one bag of foolishness, you used to pay 2 cents per bus. Something what them are sell now for what? You know, listen. You know what thing $20 could I do? You know what thing $20 could I do? Eh? You know what it could I buy? Try use the same money where I give you now. And see where it value have no value. It's like you work, you're slave in your country. I'll be a couple of $5,000 note them have. That for sure the state of the country. It's no good. Remember, every day I produce, it's not so bad. But when I produce, the same PSOJ, them are ICI. Them take the US and buy crap and sell it and then sell it to the customer them. And I make a bag of money off of it. Them not pay no bag of no tax neither, you know. Them protected by the politician. Yeah. Yes, Ratti.
Let me say this. I was reviewing the issues with the release of documents by CIA and by the State Department. The 1980 election would prove to be the bloodiest in Jamaican history, with much of the violence being perpetrated by gangs associated with Edward Seaga's Labour Party. That's coming from the official report, right?
Mm-hmm.
Despite concerns about Manley's campaigning, the agency ultimately ended up predicting a large JLP majority win. That was back in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
And the most astounding thing that I looked at was the fact that they're saying now that their assessment was the elections was not lost because of the claim that Manley was going communist. It was lost. It was lost because of racism. And when I saw that, I said, "Wow, you know."
No, I really know. Them all said about a communist because them paid that because people tell me, you know, say them things say because to them brand Cuba and say them have to cover one party, the Marxist thing. I'm gonna play the tape when them come talk about him and immerse them. You understand?
Yeah, but the trigger was when Manley lowered everything to where Iglas them could now buy a house up in Beverly Hills and other hills. You remember that? Because now the Iglas was getting top dollar for them. They sales. They're going getting their food stuff out of Panama, flight back in, and set up. You had them set up on official tables, and you know had everything looking nice, and they weren't making a ton of money because food has always been in demand, but they just weren't getting paid for it, right? So today they can make money off of selling food. So that was a part of the financial gains that people in the lower echelon made under Michael Manley was from the Higglers them. And they really got a big rise out of that and was able to move up in society and maintain. Right.
But look on that
but
now.
Also wait, one second away. But also, piggyback on education. The farmer intern and a mucker could now send his child to university. Right. Uptown did not want that child in the same university as their children. So that was another part of the sabotage from the Jamaican Labour Party towards Michael Manley.
That was part of the racism.
And black people.
Yeah. That was part
of it. You look at 1983. Look up 1983 when them call it snap election. Just read out that for me. Read out 1983 when the IMF tell Seago what to do and why I'm call it. Just read it out. But that's I'll just show you something. When if you do a lot of study, read out that for me. IMF and the snap election, 83. Why them call it? Just read it out.
Let me see if I can find that.
It's right, they're right there. IMF, 1983. And the snap election, 83. Election and IMF.
All right.
Yeah.
Jamaica held a snap general election on December 15, 1983. The election was called by Prime Minister Siaga, who was also Minister of Finance at the time, 2 years before they were due. The election was effectively ended as a contest when the main opposition party, PNP, boycotted the election to protest the refusal of the Jamaican Labour Party to update the electoral roll amid allegations of voter fraud. The Labour Party won all 60 seats in the House of Representatives, with their leader, Edward Siaga, continuing as Prime Minister. As for the IMF, it appears that Jamaica passed the IMF September quarterly test in 1983. However, it was subsequently revealed that the country had indeed failed, and the People's National Party called on Siaga to resign as Minister of Finance. So he must have put some bogus numbers to the IMF, and they
and look at them though. Yeah.
They passed him on the test.
Yeah.
But when the final out said the country had indeed failed, that everything was bogus, Manley was calling on him to resign as Minister of Finance. So that was 83. And I remember that clearly.
All right. Remember the devaluation of IMF in 83. Just look up that for me, the devaluation of the dollar, when them tell Siaga, say, hey, you have to move the dollar because them fail. Just look up that, and you know where the dollar move from $1 something to 300, and then and what the IMF take Jamaica and do to it. Siaga do it. It is a fail thing that you know. Fail thing the minister. No, them can't tell nobody nothing, you know, man. Them can't tell nobody nothing, you know.
Things,
the government.
Yeah, those are some of the things that need to be addressed in a way, because Edward Siaga sabotaged the very people that he wanted to lead. He knew that what he was saying was a lie, yet he went through with it anyway. Because remember how the shortages that we had, where if you wanted rice, you had to buy Safex, and if you wanted kerosene oil, you had to buy something else that didn't go with kerosene oil. That was what was happening as a result of what Siaga was doing to the Jamaican people that he wanted to represent. So when Andrew Holness is talking about, you know, the destruction of the 1970s, it was as a result of Edward Siaga doing bad things to the People's National Party led by Michael Manley, just to get into power, telling lies, sabotaging the people. And when he came into power, what did he do? He did everything to undo the progress made to benefit blacks and poors in Jamaica. Because my father used to tell me about walking on King Street and going into a shoe store, and nobody in there looked like a Jamaican. Everybody in there were damn light-skinned, blonde hair, blue eyes, did not look like a Jamaican. And Michael Manley reversed all of that. He changed all of that, and that's one of the reasons when he renegotiated the bauxite agreement, and he started making more money. He put that money back into education. But the private sector, the rich people, the business community did not like that. The American companies who were benefiting, who were part of the bauxite agreement, did not like that. So they worked against Michael Manley for that. And then the private sector decided that we don't want this man, because he is taking away what we should be getting. But what Michael Manley was doing was investing in the people of Jamaica.
Right. Yeah. Look for Washington Post one party campaign Jamaica. One party campaigning in Jamaica. Now, Washington Post. One party campaign in Jamaica. Look for that.
I was gonna say that they're talking in '83. Government took several measures to stabilize its economy, including massive devaluation of Jamaican dollar. But guess what? The system, if you remember, moved to a two-tier exchange system, where the bank was giving you one exchange rate, and then you could get a lot more on the outside. The Jamaican dollar was $2.76 per $1. So even back then, the Jamaican dollar was still kicking. It was still strong, right? But they say the devaluation was part of an effort to address the country's economic challenges, which included high inflation, large external debt, and a balance of payment crisis. In other words, you couldn't meet the balance of payments. You were missing out on that.
Right. So, let me send this to you, Herb. Let me send this to you right now.
Washington Post.
Let me send it to Maria too.
Washington Post. What was the thing you were asking about Washington Post?
I'll send it to you right now.
Yeah.
See that?
No, you see, they currently...
No, look at that one I send you. Look at that one I send you. I read it. I said them force him, IMF, with them measures, and I tell him, just read that. Let me send it to yeah. And then when you read this, I'm gonna show them. But you know, it's nice when you have the one of these things there. You get it, Herb? Let me send it to Maria and you see it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, read that. Let's send it to Ratti and Maria. It open, right? So I send it there. You get it open?
You got it, Herb? I have it.
Read it, Maria.
Are you gonna read it, Herb? Yes, no?
No, go ahead and read it.
Okay. It says only one party campaigning in Jamaica, and this was December, and the writer here was Edward Cody, December 10, 1983. It says the smooth political tradition of Jamaica, hailed by President Reagan as a Caribbean model, has suffered a severe jolt from virtually aborted elections that have raised tensions and provoked warnings of unrest. The electoral malfunction, which is likely to produce a one-party parliament, comes at a particularly inappropriate moment for Jamaica and its backers in the Reagan administration. Prime Minister Edward Seaga played a prominent role in supporting the recent U.S. invasion of Grenada and promoting it around the Caribbean as a rescue from the grip of Cuban Marxism and a restoration of democracy. I think it is bound to be an embarrassment that what they postulate as a smoothly run right-wing democracy has fouled its own nest, said Michael Manley, the left-leaning leader of the opposition People's National Party. Ironically, the enhancement of Seaga's regional stature by participation in the Grenada operation, along with its broad popularity among Jamaica's 2.2 million inhabitants, played a key role in the Conservative Prime Minister's sudden November 25th call for new elections. With the bite of tough new International Monetary Fund restrictions coming up fast, diplomatic sources said Seaga decided to seize the opportunity for early renewal of his 5-year mandate. He acted fast to reap the benefits of Grenada and his generally bright economic record before Jamaican voters have time to translate the upcoming economic hardships into dissatisfaction with his 3-year-old Jamaica Labour Party government, they added. But Manley, who as Prime Minister in the 1970s forged strong links with Cuba, has instead led his People's National Party into an unprecedented boycott of the election scheduled December 15. As a result, only 6 of the legislature's 60 seats are being contested, all by independents, and Seaga already has declared himself the winner of a second term. In the short term, Jamaicans have little doubt that he is. Forecasters say Seaga's party is likely to win all 60 seats. Even if it loses a few, they add, independents have no way of becoming the genuine opposition that manly forces have provided since losing to Seaga in 1980. But strong doubts have arisen about the broader effects of such a government in the months to come. Jamaica, a former British colony, enjoys a tradition of vigorous, sometimes violent politics, and parliamentary channels of expression will be empty of opposition voices at a time when an already tight economic squeeze is on the verge of getting still tighter because of the new IMF-imposed measures, including devaluation of the Jamaican dollar from 178 to 315 to the US dollar. Manley 59 said he ordered the electoral boycott because Seaga violated a pledge to complete new voter registration lists and identity cards before any new elections, which he called playing around with the system. Seaga, who shares a vivid animosity with his opponent, said the real reason was Manley's lack of readiness, decreased support after Cuba's setback in Grenada, and shortage of campaign funds. In any case, Manley has vowed to avoid confrontationist tactics and said he will not be conducting opposition in the streets instead of parliament. But diplomatic sources pointed out that economic dissatisfaction could easily be guided into national strikes that could swiftly become political if Manley wants to strike back. Reflecting these fears, the Jamaican Council of Churches urged Seaga on Tuesday to call another election as soon as possible as a matter of great priority. As reasons, it cited in a statement, the people not being given the opportunity in all constituencies to exercise their political franchise. The marked change in the society from one of relative calm and unity to one of growing tension, polarization, and disunity. The return of mass political street meetings, which have the potential of creating violence and instability. The Governor General, Florizel Glasspool, said over the weekend that the crisis is particularly unfortunate in the light of recent events in Grenada. I don't know what there is. I don't know that there's a single person in Jamaica who is not unhappy about the events that have taken place in relation to our parliamentary life, he added. It is unfortunate that it should have happened in the 21st century of our independence, 21st year of our independence, when we are projecting ourselves before the world as one of the frontline little nations, and also of what we have been able to do in terms of our democratic process. Seaga said in an interview that he has detected almost no unease among the population, despite such statements from public figures. In any case, he emphasized that Manley is the one refusing to participate in elections and therefore should shoulder the blame for any dangers presented by the upcoming blackout of opposition voices in government. We have done what we had to do. It was they who opted out. The 53-year-old prime minister, born in Boston and educated at Harvard, rejected suggestions that his maneuver and Manley's refusal to join the contest could undermine Jamaica's democratic tradition or damage its reputation abroad by evoking a danger of instability as charged by Manley. One must not assume that anything has happened other than that they have opted out of these particular elections, Seaga said. He declined to predict when new elections might be held, but declared the lack of opposition has to be transitory. Knowledgeable Jamaican observers forecast the new balloting for late 1984, when economists said the island's bauxite and tourism industries will have perked up many voters' incomes. In the meantime, Seaga has started campaigning for his party's candidates in the 6 districts where independents are running, emphasizing his contention that Manley backed out of the race because of fears of being beaten. It's kind of a difficult thing, he told a rally. You put on your boxing shorts and enter the ring. They put on your gloves and the clock is stopping and waiting for the other man. And then you find out he's knocked out on the way to the ring.
All right, so it finished there. All right, look at this now,
Yeah.
Maya. Look at that now. So IMF, it has squeezed Jamaica. IMF have forced them to move the dollar from 1 ad to 3 ad. So them just run and call a snap election, man, they never run. That's why when I hear them talk about 38. And then Seaga come and blame Mandley. Want put a blame. So them love do the blame game long time. You see it? So the money they done here, so under IMF and Seaga lock down the thing in 1983, them wind up the JOS bus company. The nice JOS bus. Then them start lock down hospital and do all kind of things. Then they move it by 86. When you have free education, go straight up a university level. Him shut it down. Him shut down all these things that input money from hospital and school and everything. Fame government. He was not good number about finance minister in a them time. The way you just reach him was a finance minister. Him never good. IMF show him and squeeze him, squeeze body. It's right there. It's there. So where them I go with them foolishness? Where them get that from? See? It's right there. Even when you hear Derek Vaz the other day saying 38 years. The PMP for 38 years. You can't follow them in because no, you don't have the MP for 38 years neither and none. On the PMP side. On the JLP side, you have the man by 901 now, Mike Henry. From 1980, I'm a member of parliament and in never lose long lesson. See me as Ratti? Them are going like the Fantastic Five don't know these things, you know. What happened to them, Ratti? We know the things there. So when them come and tell a lie, know what hold them to account. That's right, Ratti. That's right, no.
Same so. Let me read you something. Since we're in a school tonight and everybody are read, I don't want to feel left out, you know. I don't want nobody to feel like I done spot. So I want to read something. I want to read something, right? And this is not too far back. It's not going back to the 1970s, but I'll read. It says, Mr. Speaker, let me start by emphasizing the commitment of this government to fighting and eliminating corruption in this country. Accountability, transparency, and integrity are hallmarks of all self-respecting democracies, and these principles must always be promoted and upheld in furtherance of good governance, social cohesion, and economic advancement. There is no denying that whilst we have made significant strides as a politically independent country, we could have achieved much more were it not for corruption in many forms. For example, revenue leakage due to corrupt practices, misuse of public funds, and the overall perception of pervasive corruption, all of which have served to compromise the flow of investment into our country. Mr. Speaker, an effective anti-corruption program must have provisions whereby persons in leadership positions set the standard of ethics by which we all operate. Institutional reorganization is critical, and the legal and regulatory framework must create a culture of transparency and honesty, supported by an effective anti-corruption agency. One more thing. In closing, Mr. Speaker, reducing corruption and improving governance and public service delivery are important for growth and sustainable development. The need in all sectors is too much for public resources to be diverted to the hands of corrupt individuals. You know who made that speech? That speech was made on February 1st, 2017 by the Prime Minister when they were debating the bill, Integrity Commission.
Integrity Commission.
Yeah. Listen to all the things that he said, and look at what's going on now.
Them arrogant, straight, arrogance I kill them. Yeah, straight across the board.
I mean, see, yeah. You can't.
See that? You want to see that, people? See that? All right, now them the name the 6. And you still him say it. Bring it in. Now when you look at them at the 6, it bad enough. Can you imagine you talk about integrity and you are tremble because integrity in the car for you said down your trouble Zion and right now it a shingle over your head again. You can't listen to a man like this. If him have any integrity at all, them supposed to read out the 6 long time.
Listen.
Let the chips fall with mayor, with lies. You can't listen to him. None at all. Him go around and play the game. This is what them do. And people tell you, the whole of them are blame, it's wrong. Them not correct but not at all. Them not correct but no hospital, who be the hospital. Like me see the one Joe Stinker, the one on name Bug Life, disinformation minister, come and say Buster man to be the hospital. He don't know about Buster. He never know when Buster leave. He never know when Buster go sail and come back. I never name Buster name Clark. He never know. I don't think it's just a Buster name Clark. So
hold on.
Name Buster man to.
You just call him name. You just call him name. I'm gonna read something where him say. Him say, I have not. This is the code of. Oh, wait there. All right, that's so. The code of the leadership code of conduct, right? That they all got training on. Where the prime minister asked for the training, and they all received it, and they were provided with the forms to sign. And here's what him say: I have not been presented with a code of conduct to sign. No code of conduct has been presented to me to sign. No consultations have been had with me as a duly elected member of parliament on a code of conduct. So I'm pretty much unable to comment on a code of conduct that I've never seen or had any discussions with anyone about. Now, it's funny because it says here, the commission asked for the prime minister and opposition leader to encourage the cabinet and shadow cabinet to sign the document. However, despite these reports from the commission, Morgan said he has not been presented with a code of conduct to sign. No, he knows that up to now they haven't signed the code of conduct. Up to now they have not signed the code of conduct.
So them come and with integrity, Ratti. But the code of conduct was supposed to sign them, not sign it. Because them guilty as charge. A patak at them.
But you see, like
as is a chappers. Yes, sir.
Like we were saying in the past, right? If Kamina Johnson Smith was sworn in as the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, there are 7 codes of conduct that she has to meet, and it mirrors the same ones in CARICOM and that's in Jamaica that the Integrity Commission pulled up. So how was she going to meet that? And she didn't want to sign the one in Jamaica. And the Prime Minister was supporting her to meet the Secretary General of the Commonwealth standards, and he won't sign the one in Jamaica. None of it makes any sense. None of it.
You're right. It makes no sense. She would have signed this one, which is the same thing as the one in Jamaica, but she hasn't up to now. They haven't signed the one in Jamaica. But if she had been elected, she would have signed that one. So if you could sign that one, why is it you can't sign this one? And it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And they get training on the code of conduct, don't they?
They ask for it and they receive it.
They receive it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was the Prime Minister in his meeting with Christie who asked for the training. It wasn't Christie who said, "Hey, I've got some training." He said, "No, I want some training on
integrity."
Integrity. Yeah, it's integrity, some integrity training, integrity, honesty, openness, accountability, all of that stuff. He said, "I want the training."
I mean, Ratti, so if you understand yourself and you have integrity, you'd have to ask Christie for the training. Can I remember the man come to you and say, "I want to get some training," and he said, "But me have integrity and thing, I'm honest, but me will go through because you ask me." Him go ask. That means him know himself say him not honest, him dishonest. And him know say him the lie this thing too, So the man are training to just stop tell lie. But him can't stop. So that's why I'm not signing it. Me I tell you that's why I'm not signing it. And the lie this thing for earth and Holness. Me don't know how I'm turning a prime minister, how I'm trick no.
Yeah, I mean, understand why is it that, because I've seen the 7 principles. I don't understand why they won't sign it. I don't understand why they won't sign it. And they got the training. This basically saying I've received training on the following things, and it lists the 7 things. And them said, no, we're not signing it. He said, these are things that we need to educate the people about. I remind the people about these things, saying, how can you trust a government that won't sign for a training course that they ask for and they receive? And it has to do with openness, honesty, openness, transparency, good governance, all of that stuff. And they say, well, no, we're not signing it. How can you trust them? How can you trust them?
Look at. Let me show you order. Let me tell you, I want to eat that thing. Look at. I want to come and say at the biggest conference ever in Jamaica. This a piece of nastiness, bug life. CVM, look at. Biggest conference that has ever been made in Jamaica. Now, man, have a conference there, you know, where I have to move from the arena and go in the stadium and to Ram. Not never big so. This not big like Mark Golden conference the other day. No. And by the way, enough PMP go there. Oh, me know. Me play something and make it clear. Them go sell them weed and them thing. Them have a helpful up boss. No joke me make you know. Me go play one make it here. Cause them no know. Go in them plain clothes and them thing. Them no know. Them just go. Them get a money to you know. And them go them now play. Some of them must put on a shirt. I go and play something for you. Him say the biggest conference in Jamaica. That means this bug life guy. This insect guy. Him don't know what him do. Him don't know what him say. Him never hear say the stadium it have to move from there because people are gathered. I remember nobody not pay nobody on the bus. Them are gathered the night before. In the morning, them cook. I make a plate make him here one day. Because him don't know him history and nothing at all. Him all a compare conference. Him so stupid. Him don't know what him say. And nobody will correct him, you know. Nobody. Yeah.
Robert, can the governor general ask him to sign? I don't think that falls within his purview, but even if it did, him not gonna ask him for sign.
Yeah, this Ratti.
Well, it my boss. Catch me ride the bike, me never hear the phone, so I feel it. Yeah, man, it's like I want a whole heap of PMP gone, man. But you know, so I didn't think they gonna sell. You understand? Believe me, I tell you. Trust me, cause me ride the road this morning, I'm so I go and them say, why you aspire? Me say, yeah, man, me aspire, yes, hell yeah. Yeah, man, all the PMP, man. Take my word. Yeah, man, because Darlington and Vineyard are driving district, you know, the 2 coaster. You understand? I tell you, say, one of the coaster, I'm sure a PMP supporter. I don't know if but now me because I'm on the ground and I know. Yeah, man, I say it and trust me. That me all a body labor, I come all a body and I say, boy, where PMP them go. Me all have to get upset one night time and say, oh, you want to win ICM district people. I want to. People them make them go on, man. You understand? Because they must say, boy, oh, so much PMP are enough labor right now. Come on, PMP are full of the bus. You know, then stay already. Weak like a rock, man.
Yeah, well, go ahead. The man ain't go sell any weed, Ratti. So they must put them knocks up and get a free and go in that thing and them go make up a little crowd for them. And him don't even know. Poor thing, and then we get it all over the place. You know what going on, you know? They're winning, you know. See him? Man say, I'm very bad, them also, we know now go pay full up the bus. The man them go. And I like them not vote for Andrew. So Andrew, enough of them come, them are PMP too. We know that. But them come for sending little weed and thing, them little greens. Eh? Yeah, them knocks up and them thing there. You understand? So these guys are the biggest confess ever in Jamaica. Who are compare? These are where that happen with bug life for them to know. Him to know the history of Jamaica, you know. This can't be like Mark Golden thing. No. Michael Mann, they have one of the biggest conference ever in Jamaica, and him don't even know that. It have to move from the arena and go to the stadium. And you so much in the stadium run. All. And outside still full. Him don't even know. Some don't know him history. You see, that me don't know, you know. We have got to teach him. Him don't know, him sick. Him sick, you know, Herb. Yeah, and Maria.
Yeah.
All right. This guy just run up and down and just put all kind of things because Chewy was the main troll. Him and the other one named Samuda. Because them put Porsche headphones on cover, you know, Samuda. The one who gonna sentence now. Him and that one, yeah, bug life. You see, them was the main troll, and them do these kind of little twists. Him just come with a twist all the while and think it out. No, we do fact checking around here. Get your thing right, man, because people are only accountable, man. Get your thing right. You understand? They move from the arena to the stadium. You know, American man, they not what you say, arena. Me say they move from the arena to the stadium. How does I say not stadium? Not even you know that. Maria never know about that one there, yeah? You know about it, right?
Yes, I think it was 1970. I was confused with 83, but it was 1976 election where it was the arena, but it was so massive that they had to move to the stadium.
When I tell them to river come down bank to bank, so them start using all that too. And when they tell
Yes.
them, tell them. Yeah, me have it, man. Me play it. Tomorrow I couldn't hear it, man. Now, if you know the history.
But also, you know, Wayne, also the Prime Minister's lackluster performance at the conference is that he had to show up. He didn't have a choice. You know, if he could do without going to conference, he wouldn't have gone. Because the elephant in the room is who are the illicit six. That's the elephant in the room. And not only that, why is the speaker not sharing the information? And also the speaker has her own $800 million millstone around her neck. So there are too many issues facing just two people. So he just showed up just the same face. But he was in the room physically, but he was emotionally and mentally absent because that's not where he wanted to be. There are other issues going on with the Prime Minister. The other issues of corruption facing him, other issues of integrity that he has to deal with because his integrity is questioned, is questionable, you know? So, and his wife's own is questionable as well. And many more people within his administration, they have questionable integrity. And people are wondering, who are the six? So he really showed up and was not even, you know, a percentage of the Andrew Holness that he has given himself permission to believe that he is.
All right, me could go and tell a quick number now. Somebody just tell him say Mark Golden have more people. Andrew have empty buses, so they can't remember enough bus them rent. So they have more buses and car, but them empty. So you have more but less people. Because the bus them quarter and half and them things. So you have more buses out there. You understand? Them never have them kind of thing. I'm going to tell you something though. If you have 48 member of parliament, and if you 48, and if you could have find 1,000 for come, you'd have 48,000 people. You have a move it to stadium. Even if you have 500 out of your constituency, you know more than that vote for you. That's for sure. So nobody not follow them. 500 and a 48, you'd get 24,000. Crunch the numbers, and if you don't have that, boom, you're gone. See? So them you don't have no crowd yet. If you have 48 Alibabas, them can't pull even 30,000 out on a flap. You never know. If the PMP have 14 Ratti,000, do you see the people them come out? You know them are come out for vote now. Them people are buy and a full tank of gas and do all kind of thing. Then PMP come out with them and them still I have 48,000 48 MP. Even if a 500 follow you, 500 at 24,000 people that. With ease. And if you can't pull that, you flap. And then Buglev come and say, we have the biggest. Him don't even know say Sir Mandia keep a thing on my arena. And it have a move going at the stadium. And outside still ram. The stadium itself ram. Him don't even know. And by the way, think that bigger than this. Yes, Ratti. Got you.
I read something. I'm find something again. I'm medical.
Yes.
Medical library. I read you something. It says members of parliament are first and foremost representatives of the people. They are elected or appointed to serve the interests of the public generally and the interests of their constituency in accordance with the greater good of the society or community and in keeping with the laws and constitution of Jamaica. This public role requires parliamentarians to be mindful that conduct in their personal capacity must uphold and be seen to uphold integrity, dignity, and professional stewardship befitting the public office. Now, what I just read to you, is not something going back to 1970s. This is dated June 20, 2023. And this is a job description for members of Parliament of Jamaica. And this was promulgated by the Office of the Prime Minister, right? And when you read all of these things, you say, then how is it possible that Integrity Commission's report cannot be tabled and that the Jamaican people cannot understand or know what's going on? How? They just put this out in June, talking about integrity. And then the other thing that was a few years ago where they talk about transparency and hope and honesty and this and that and that. And yet so you see, people, you know, the moment I'm telling you, there's going to be, they talk about a tsunami. There's going to be a tsunami of information once he declares the election that people that he cannot control, people like us, cannot control what we say. He knows that stuff like this. He knows that stuff like this is going to come out. He knows, and then we've been warning him for a while. And like I said, I've warned him from the standpoint of, hey, you need to do better. You are the Prime Minister of Jamaica. You're the Prime Minister of all of Jamaica. And you need to serve the country. You can't just serve a constituency or a party. You have to serve everybody.
That's it.
And you're failing. And here are some of the things that you're failing. You need to do, and he want to provide instructions and guidance and counsel. Them ignore us. So now a day of reckoning is coming. A day of reckoning is coming. And he will now have to face, as he said, I have no fear in facing the people of Jamaica. But when he said it, you could see the living fear in his face and his body language. He's not prepared for this. Maria, I agree with you, my sister, 100%. He did not want to be there today. He did not want to be there today because he knows that. And to think about it, you have 6 people investigated for criminal activity sitting on the podium with him. He might very well be one for all we know. I'm not saying he's one, but he might very well be one.
And them come
just think about that.
There's a high probability, yes. Very high probability.
Herb gone down the road now. Herb gone down the road. Herb gone down the road, Maria.
Listen, man. Anytime Herb get his sense, you know, and come on, you know, it's strictly Herb, you know. Don't play with Herb.
You know, never laugh. People never laugh for the night, you know. Never have one video. Yeah. This is the video for the night. Can we have a video for the night? You know, let me say me have it, boy. Yeah, so can I put it up, you know?
Don't forget the picture I sent you with President Carter's wife. Did you see
the picture?
Hey, I send you another video too, you know. I send you a video with 2 members of them sit down in the back and you could assist them uneasy on the platform today. You have it, right?
I think me have a picture. Me show you. But me show you a picture. More show you something. Me show you this is one of them. Cause them remember them not talk about no vote or nothing, you know. But me have that video I want to show you. Very important. Yeah, I did laugh. I did video this to the night, man. You're not gonna laugh.
120,000. You know, get 20 we get. We don't get 100. So if I want to people say get 100, I'll tell them. When I blame my right, we never get 100. Yeah, that's
this is something, yeah. I think them full up in it, so yeah. Okay, don't move. Man, back. Yeah, man. Me think them full up, man. All right. So remember play this. Let me see if the one that will come up. I'll take it up back. Let me show you on this. What she say. Me name not upload it. This is what she said today. This is what she said. Look here. I'm gonna ask them.
Yeah,
So she said she get a 20 with an envelope. So them say no go say no corruption and everything. But you have thing with them collect and do them too light to man. I know that me have a picture with Google Gaga and Crab. You know, we not gonna laugh still, you know, but me have a show it, you know. You see that?
Just anyone.
I want to bust the place, you know, brother. People want to see this. Enough device to buy over 2300 device, right? But I'm showing a picture with, I'm showing a video with Google and Crab. We're not gonna believe this. I'm telling you, not mash up the place. Look here. Who are Google and Crab? No, I did quick. Well, no, and a Google and Crab, yes. No, a Queenie and Big Mama video this. And a Google and Crab, a Queenie and Big Mama. See me? You see how a Queenie and Big Mama, you know. Queenie back up. See Big Mama in front there. Look here.
Oh God.
A Queenie and Big Mama. That's it. A Queenie and Big Mama. Turn on the mic. Now look on it. A Queenie and Big Mama, you know. Yeah, man.
You must have seen a while ago.
Oh, that one, yeah. Oh, look on them face, man. Look here.
Them not look enthusiastic at all.
No. And them not look happy at all. Yeah. So this is weird when we get that from. Now Queenie and Big Mama, what them say, them have to rewind it again, Ratti. Eh? them a Queenie and Big Mama, them want to say. The Queenie and Big Mama, them go to Anaconda, them go hunt, you know. Two of them. Yeah, man, two of them, man. Queenie and Big Mama. See them here? A special request, you know, Ratti. Special request. Queen E and Big Mama, special request. With them there. See them here? See them here, man? Queen E and Big Mama, special request. Look here. When I see you, you know. No, when I see you, you know, Ratti.
Only in Jamaica.
What's Queenie face, man? Big Mama. What's Big Mama now?
Sure.
Big Mama in front, you know. Big Mama look like you want to go on the table again, you know. And then this. And the first person is to backside. Yeah? Queenie and Big Mama. You know, remember them right together when they're ready, you know. I wanted to bite that people. I wanted to bite that. Yes.
Yeah. Somebody said the conference a minute ago. Somebody right now said the conference.
Well, it's only as a yeah, man, a Queenie and Big Mama, man. Queenie, right? A Big Mama in front, you know. Because like Big Mama, like when, you know, you get pampered. You know, pampered. Yes. Big Mama, yeah, man. Queenie and Big Mama go a conference. A conference, them that go for tuna Ratti. Yeah, man. Them that go snake Anaconda bush first, and then go a conference. Yeah, man. Two of them. Yeah, man. Come on. Tell us I'll be there for the night, man. Mash up the place, man. As me I say, no, you know.
Show about the other one. Show about the other one with them on the thing there. Because somebody has said, somebody megawatt say, remember this, your body is here, but your mind is on the other side of town. That's so true. If you look at the
I want ya.
Yeah. Okay.
Ain't nobody happy in that thing. And the wife on her phone a text.
Why them not look happy at all?
Yeah.
Did somebody else in the video, you know?
Let me see it, man.
Okay.
What one directing traffic this morning, Wayne?
Him a direct traffic this morning, man. Have him that direct traffic, you know. Him out that direct traffic this morning, you know.
Who? I get
Take helicopter and what it, eh? False. Him out that direct traffic. Like people, them have to get them gas, you know. Them have to get them thing and get them gas. So the gas station have to go, you know, line up and you get the gas to move. Yeah, them have to move. So this is for them thing now where you think I wonder we can spend some money out of the way because them people know. There is no way when people rise up, them have such a small base, them not gonna work it. And when them call it in a ratty, me turn up with the hey, fantastic 5, I turn it up pound, you know. I see what's up, man, and a joke I make. That's why I'm afraid for call it today, you know.
Somebody thought the little cottage in the grill. Yeah. Your artist.
My artist. So the man the artist.
The one your artist, man.
Yeah, the artist.
You know, sis, you check your phone, man.
Now play, eh? And next one today. Which one? Which one, Ratti? Send me about the other one there. You want the artist? Tough tongue? Yeah. People want the artist, you know. So I saw what to do it, you know. What to do it like this because people, you know.
Home a little cottage in the hill. Way down in West End Grill. This man said, hey baby, Jimmy, I miss you. Oh my, it's gonna easy. All you wanna go. To my surprise, you right at home. Home a little cottage in the grill. I wrote this line for you.
I'm a beach nigga, people.
Oh, a little cottage in the grill. Hey, baby, right. I realize I love you.
You're my artist there. I realize that. Eh? Anything for your baby girl, you know. Artists have a singer for your baby girl. And I live baby girl, you know. For your baby girl, you know, my artist I sing.
Take your phone.
Let me play it, yeah. This. How it is?
You're an artist.
I'm an artist. I want it.
Why you a dance with a midget?
So my artist this? No, sir. I'm an artist that? Yeah. So my artist dance now. Eh? People, you know, no, but I see what's not. The health minister now going good enough. As an artist, I'm an artist. Saying, but as a minister, I'm not going good. Too much people, you know, not talking to them, not even for that, nothing in the hospital. Beach chair there, but no bed. Beach chair. Him clear it, yeah, man. Him clear the beach chair and put them in the Savlamar hospital. The whole of them. Pack them up in there. Yeah. But no, man, I'd see what's something put them on.
What I know. Them say artists gone on tour. That's not them.
When you go on tour, I'm not selling on tour. Eh? Yeah, man. I'm not selling on tour. I'm not supposed to go on a tour. I'm not going to fire him now. I'm going to fire him, man.
That's a stage show him on the pan beach before.
Yeah, so, but I'm not selling on tour, man. Yeah, man, Big Mama and Queenie that, man. JP, a Big Mama and Queenie. Them that go, them what them do, them for leave and go conference, but them that go Snake Bush. Them are gonna look for Anaconda first, then them go. So it get done before they reach. Hey, see Big Mama big. You never know that's a Big Mama big. So Queenie have to hold up on Big Mama, so Big Mama like, you know, to be carried. Big Mama like to be pampered. You know, Ratti.
Yeah, man.
And by the way, you know, you see the twister now, because twister to you know that's a bug life. Him get up and him just say something on time out where it never relevant, it don't make no sense. And him just say, let me just fling this out. And what you do, you discredit the government more, youth. Do facts checking before you talk. And him say, man, that come out, come say, Buster Bill, Buster man to hospital, you know. Him never know say it was a army, but it's an army hospital, you know. And them just put the name on it and turn it in a children's hospital. In 1963. Him say bust a billet. Them get film facts them from man. And a wolf them travel with brother. Eh? A wolf them travel with man. Bad man. Don't forget real around here. Yeah man, Big Mama like travel away there, you know, because Big Mama big. You saying? And at this I finish go eat my you know say I'm my time now, Ratti. I'm my time. Yeah man, so my time. So you know it go already. But I forgot well on there before I move Ratti. Come I say are your time to, you know, Ratti, for go eat, you know.
No, this was my friend. You should have known this was.
You're about
audience can anticipate in those words, Wayne.
Eh?
See, Megawatt say hungry like dog.
Hungry like a dog. No, I'm getting it wrong.
Yeah.
Tell him if it said like a dog. Like a dog. Hungry like a dog. Yeah, man, in the city. No, you're not over city. Over Big Mama and Queenie city. You're not going to that city then make a watch out. What's Queenie behind Big Mama, man? Look here. What's Big Mama face? Hey. No, man, hey. No, man, Ratti. Big Mama and Queenie bad, you know. Eh? Big Mama and Queenie bad, man. Eh? What's Big Mama face, man? Eh? Big Mama like to be pampered, you know, because Big Mama can't ride bike. Queenie can ride the bike. So Big Mama is sitting up front and Queenie just steer it. Them go Snake Bush. Then they go conference. So them leave go Snake Bush, the two of them, because them go on Anaconda. Yeah, Big Mama and Queenie. So when them go back now, you know, conference done. So, saying, yeah, man, I told them that, man. Big Mama in front and Queenie. Because Big Mama like to be pampered. Yeah, man. Anyway, Ratti Herb Maria.
Thank you, brother.
Maria.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, bless up. Bless up.